Florabella on my screen. Her smile, it shines so bright. She's a queen with every scene. In the morning or the night, recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power. Spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power. Spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power. Spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. Every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power. Spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong.
Battles got power, Florabella stands tall. Every drip, every drop, watch the haters fall. Channel sharp as thorns, ain't taking no mess. Scroll through her feet, feel that queen's finesse. Vines tangle tight, but Flora breaks free. Roots so deep, can't mess with her tree. From the mud she rises, roses from the dirt. Every comment section she lays down hurt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving no lesser. Florabella's reign, strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. From the garden green to the concrete wall, Florabella unstoppable.
All right, guys. Sorry for the intro, but we're here. We're back for another one. Again, I'm going to be doing body cam footage review videos. This is one of them. I organized this sort of like a little sporadically, so a little bit just sort of chosen ones, and a little bit some things that are constantly in the media that have been trending over the last decade for those of you guys who've been under a rock. But one thing that I like about the body cam footage, besides it being a tool of transparency for the police, it also gives people like a follow along perspective about what happens out on these calls when the police have to deal with situations in homes and wherever it is that they have to report to. You just never know what can come to be. But every day there's a new story. The body cam footage that they're building, that they've been getting across departments, if you look at your local police department, they likely have it online or accessible. One thing I do want to start doing, like for the growth of my channel, since I do know how to do FOIA requests, I created the document at my last workplace for our FOIA requests. Since I know how to do that, maybe I should try getting the videos myself. But nonetheless, for now, I'm grateful that there is body cam footage online that anybody can view. So the first one we're going to look at today is a very shocking case, is what I'll say. I don't want to use any buzzwords. And so, I forgot something again. Before we get into it, let me just take care of something really quickly. You guys listen to my music for a quick second. My apologies.
Leaves whisper secrets, she's the loudest shout. From the channel buzzing, she never backs out. Seed of strength, through season she grows. In the face of doubt, her spirit glows. Cameras ain't a limit, she branches out. Thorns in her crown, she wears it no doubt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolve, ain't no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. Resilient, resolving no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless.
All right, so sorry for that, guys. Again, I'm going to let the body cam footage sort of speak for itself. But again, this is a review show, so don't come in here talking about, can you just let it play? Can you just let it go? No, I'm here to react and review based on educational and criminal knowledge that I have, is why I'll be intervening every time that I do intervene. All right, so let's get into it.
Story County Emergency 911.
Yes, my son is somewhere in Nevada. He's not really coherent.
I knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
Story County 911.
My baby's not breathing. I just came home from work.
All right. And how old is your baby?
Please, leave my baby. Oh my God.
Why are you laying in this bed?
On January 29, 2018, police in Nevada, Iowa respond to a call from authorities at Union Pacific Railroad, reporting that a black male is standing on the slope of rocks beside the train tracks. Officers head out to the location to conduct a search. However, after finding no one there, they return to the station. Roughly 30 minutes after the first call,
men like him who look like him and have families and things like that, this is why I say, like, a relationship is nothing to brag about. Anybody could be in a relationship. It's nothing to brag about.
a Union Pacific employee calls the sheriff's office once more with startling news.
Hey, this is Travis at Union Pacific Railroad. I'm requesting an ambulance. I've got a trespasser who was just struck by a train.
And so this just happened?
Yeah, moments ago, reported by a coal train.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and dispatch out medical. This is 206.
Police officers arrive on scene shortly after the call, ready to administer medical aid if they find the victim before the paramedics.
We'll be on the south side of the tracks.
Oh, stop.
All right, start looking for a body. Is your radio up?
Go ahead.
Just confirming for medical. You have the person on the south side, is that correct?
No, we are locating him right now.
Copy that.
I mean, is he on the north side maybe? I don't see him.
So excuse me for being muted for a second. But so you guys can see, like, obviously we see the title, but this is all that these people are hearing about the situation. Man hit by a train, he was trespassing, yada, yada, yada. Hey, Robin. What's going on, boo? They have no idea what they're walking into. Again, I'm not trying to say that people should just excuse everything that the police do or anything like that, but this is actually a little bit of frightful of a situation. You know, going into this not really realizing or knowing what the outcome of the situation is going to be in the end, right? You just have to go there, evaluate for what you see, and try to get all the best details that you can. They have no idea what they're walking into a lot of time.
I've been looking. I don't see anything.
But a message soon comes over the radio to explain why they're not having much success.
Evidently, UP had advised he is on the north side, or the patient's on the north side.
10-4. So we need to be on that side of the tracks. Cross right now, we need to find him.
Despite the setback, first responders eventually find the victim beside the tracks. He's hurt, but alive and conscious. Soon, another 911 call.
That is, I don't know if that's just the worst picture they can find of him or he's just hideous, but not the best picture.
Comes in providing more details about the victim to the police.
Surrey County Emergency 911.
Yes, my son has been hit by a train somewhere in Nevada. He's calling me now on Facebook saying he's been hit by a train.
All right, unless there's a second person hit, he's already been located and has somebody with him. Do you have him on the line still?
I have him on the line, but I don't know if he has anybody with him. He's not really coherent. He's just saying he's been hit by a train.
Is he able to tell you exactly where he's at? They're out in the area and they've been looking for him.
Can y'all tell us where he's at? Somebody.
Going to a hospital.
Where is he at?
It sounds like there is somebody with him.
Okay, so did you call an ambulance and everything already?
They're already out there with him.
Okay.
Hospital somewhere. I can't tell you where.
Can you give me the location? I got 911 on the phone.
Tanya?
Here, don't worry about it.
Tanya?
Yes.
I know you're up.
What is she trying to play mediator between his... I can't.
But we have all the personnel out, and I believe the ambulance is Tanya.
On the phone with him.
The ambulance should already be out there with him.
I'm not sit here and talk to you.
Sir, you're being mean. That's my son.
Tanya, talk to me.
My son, sir.
Tanya, talk to me.
Okay, this sir.
He has shit to be doing. Do you want your son to survive? Like, what is this lady shouting for? She's literally sitting there shouting at the people who have already sent help to her child.
Being so mean, talking about this is not
okay. Just let they need to take care of your son right now. So relax. Just relax. They're going to take care of your son.
There.
Yes, they are. You've got Union Pacific.
Here on the site.
See?
Okay. He said a paramedic is on site. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so there is an ambulance out with your son, and they'll be taking care of him.
As EMTs attend to the victim, police officers speak to the conductor. The conductor shows officers the area where he located the man after he was struck by the train. Here they find some splashes of bright red on the tall grass. They also find a lighter and a tube from an ink pen filled with what appears to be a white substance. The incident is made only more tragic when the victim reveals to EMTs that he has 2 kids at home. Back with the victim as the EMTs load him into the ambulance, they ask him if he hurt his children. But to this simple, straightforward question, the victim provides no answer. Just as emergency responders are getting their heads around this shocking incident, another harrowing 911 call comes in to throw the day into more unimaginable chaos.
911?
I need an ambulance now.
Where at? What's going on there?
My baby's not breathing. I just came home from work.
All right. And how old is your baby?
It's 2 months.
Okay, how long has your baby not been breathing?
And the first time I watched this, I had like one perspective. I was like, oh, this demon, whatever the connection is here, this guy's a demon. As I listened to it back now, I realized the situation with him had to have been a diversionary tactic. You guys will see why I'm saying that.
I just got home. My husband was supposed to be watching.
Okay, all right. So is the baby in the crib? Okay, all right. Take a deep breath for me, okay? Take a deep breath.
Please hurry.
Okay, my partner's dispatching everybody. I will let you know when they're on their way, okay? They're in the area right now.
The dispatcher's assurance is not an exaggeration. Several of the paramedics who responded to the train accident are rerouted to the apartment, which is only a few streets away. While this incident seems completely unrelated, it won't be long before an incredibly suspicious connection comes to light.
Can you put the baby on a hard service so we can start CPR?
Yes.
Okay.
God, please,
okay.
God, will you save my baby?
All right. Ma'am, I need you to listen to me so we can help your baby, okay? Lay the baby flat on the back, okay? Okay, is this a baby boy or baby girl? Okay. All right, take a deep breath for me, okay?
And just a quick trigger warning again for anybody coming in. This is a very tense situation where a mother was trying to she was trying to give her baby life-saving CPR, but she was very panicked, as you can hear.
Okay, I'm going to help you out, okay? I want you to take your two of your fingers, your index finger and your middle finger, and put those on the middle of the chest, right between the nipples, okay? And you're going to push down about 1.5 inches. And you're going to do this. You're going to try to pump about 100 times, okay? Please, God. Okay. Let me know when you started, okay? Let me know when CPR has been started. So let's count together, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep going. She's turning blue. She's turning blue. Okay, keep pumping for me, okay?
The dispatcher guides the woman through mouth-to-mouth resuscitation as well as compressions, but the mother's heartbroken, terrified voice is enough to paint the picture of how those efforts are going.
Please, God, please, Father, please, my baby, please. I need more medicine. Oh my God.
Paramedics arrive at the apartment during the call, and one of them would later describe the frantic scene she walked into.
There was a adult female that met me at the apartment steps. He took me to the apartment, walked into the living room, and saw Mom doing CPR on a couch.
The medics performed 2 rounds of CPR and used more advanced equipment to try and revive the infant. Meanwhile, the 911 dispatcher attempts to calm the mother.
Hello, what is your first name?
My name is Melissa.
Melissa? Okay, and you got first responders there, right?
I don't even know where my husband is. I see him.
The paramedics are unable to revive the...
I don't know where my husband is. He was supposed to be home with the kids. That's what she said.
Baby on scene, so they get the infant in the ambulance for transport to a local hospital. It's a chaotic afternoon for Story County responders, but they have yet to learn the chilling connection between their 2 victims.
Well, just visual observation, you could see that the baby was dusky, cyanotic, kind of blew around the mouth.
These heartbreaking details weigh on medical responders as efforts to save the baby progress. But police are about to find that these 2 victims, the unresponsive infant and the man hit by the train, are not unrelated after all. As investigators shared notes on both cases, in a horrifying turn of events, they realized that the train victim is Calvin Curtis White, and in an inconceivable link, he's actually the father of the dying baby. It was his wife, Melissa White, who made the 911 call. And as the ambulance rushes the baby to the hospital, police descend on the neighborhood to look for witnesses that might shed some light on these disturbing events.
Hi, how are you? Good. Hey, have you been home most of the day, or no, or?
I've been working till 4:30, but my husband was home all day.
Okay. Did you or him see anybody suspicious in the area, or see anybody walking down the street by chance?
Did you see anybody else?
Did you see anybody walking down the street today at all? Pretty much in between the timeline of like maybe anytime later in the afternoon. No. About. Well, do you know many of the neighbors over there? I'm sure you see the normal ones that come and go all the time. Probably a black male, about 5'5" maybe. You see him come and go at all today?
No, we haven't.
Despite little help from the surrounding neighborhood, the police do get some information from 2 women, Sarah and Christy, who live in the same apartment building as Calvin White and his family. Sarah recalls hearing the baby crying all morning, with the cries growing weaker throughout the day until they finally stopped. Christy tells police.
What part are you confused about, Bridget? They're asking the neighbors, like, have you seen him? Have you seen anybody come and going? Anybody suspicious? Because if the baby's deceased, yes, they're going to check if the families were the one, but they're going to look for other suspects as well, just in case. But, what he just said here was very important, right? He said they heard the baby crying in increments all morning long until the crying just got weaker. All right? he was supposed to be with the children. That's what we know so far. My husband's supposed to be with the baby. I'm at work. I came home. He's not here with the kids. And then the neighbors are saying, we heard the baby's crying, the baby at least, the little one, crying all morning in increments until it got weaker and weaker. We didn't hear nothing else, which sounds like a progression throughout the day. Yeah, and then poof, the thing that we're also hearing in the beginning, black male trespassing on train tracks, got hit by a train track. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like he had to put himself, this is my guess, it's like he had to put himself in a situation so that he can get pull some of the sympathy and attention away from the fact that he left his kid unattended, whatever else it is that he ended up doing to the baby. Is he mental? I'm not trying to be rude, but he looks it. I wouldn't leave him with my kids, but that's me. You know, I'm not going to judge anybody. I'm just saying. And I don't have kids, so I can easily, smoothly say that. But, you know, he was obviously the main caregiver, just from what we know right now.
The cries growing weaker throughout the day until they finally stopped. Christy tells police that Calvin once told her that sometimes they simply let the baby cry it out until it stops crying. Suspecting the worst, police get a search warrant for the Whites' apartment.
The living room when you first come in. Around the corner to the south side, you've got the kitchen. Straight back, you've got the parents' bedroom. You got the kids' bedroom. This is where one of the baby cribs is.
This is now officially a full-scale criminal inquiry, and when Calvin and Melissa White's baby is pronounced dead in the hospital at 3:43 p.m. that afternoon, it becomes a death investigation. What began as two seemingly unrelated tragedies has converged into a single horrifying case. To get to the bottom of what happened this afternoon in Nevada, police go out to Iowa Methodist Hospital to have a chat with Calvin White.
So why don't we kind of start with why are you laying in this bed? What happened?
You
You don't remember? You woke up in the grass? Calvin, do you remember why you were going or where you were walking to? What's your last thing? Do you remember walking to the train? Kind of. You take your time, okay? You remember walking to the train, though?
Calvin's injuries won't make it easy to get answers, but the detective pushes forward, knowing all too well the importance of getting his story as quickly as possible. Officers bring Calvin's wife Melissa for questioning as well. She says the day started like any other. She headed off to work at 5:30 a.m., at which time both her 18-month-old son and her 2-month-old daughter were fine. She texted Calvin at 2 o'clock that afternoon to see if he wanted her to get anything on the way home. Calvin texted back, asking that she stop and get supplies to bring home for dinner.
What did you ask her to pick you up from the store? You wanted chicken and beer today? Okay.
In her own interview with police, Melissa says that she texted Calvin to see what kind of beer he wanted, but he didn't text back. When she called him, he was short with her. She tells the detectives that she heard a crackle in his voice, but he said he was fine. At 2:30 that afternoon, she finally received one last message from Calvin apologizing for hanging up on her.
Where do you work, Calvin? Do you have a job? Do you stay home?
Yeah.
Do you stay home? Okay.
Stays home.
Do you watch your kids? Are you home alone? What's that? You watch your kids? How many kids do you have, Calvin? Do you have 2?
I don't whose idea is it for these type dudes to become stay-at-homes? I'm curious.
Kids?
After confirming with Calvin that he's the primary in-home caregiver, the detective emphasizes how much pressure this has to put on the 30-year-old father.
That's, I mean, you guys got to be tired.
Restaurant here.
And no
Restaurant, that
sleep.
woman.
How is with waking up in the middle of the night? She's gotten better. Who would normally get up with her? You get up with her. So she works quite a bit. So essentially, you do a lot of the parenting roles by yourself.
Yes.
After your wife leaves for work and you get up with the kids and do home all day with both kids under a year old. That's pretty impressive. It is a lot. It is a lot, yeah.
Calvin's workload as a parent has been under additional strain for the last month or two because both kids have been struggling with illnesses.
What were they doing? What did this sickness consist of? Were they vomiting, puking? What's that?
Cough.
Just a cough? Coughing and wheezing.
They hear this as well from Calvin's wife, Melissa, who says that her daughter has been fighting a cold since the beginning of the month, right after her older son suffered from a nasty round of bronchitis. But if these sound like the typical struggles of a family raising two young babies, it won't be long before chilling information comes out that sheds new light on the reason behind these illnesses. The detective at the hospital soon discovers that there's another element at play in the White household: addiction.
Do you have any history of drug usage? You do? What is your history? Meth?
Surprise.
If I went to your house right now, would I find any meth at your house?
No.
When's the last time you've done meth?
Either yesterday.
You did meth yesterday or today?
Yeah.
And how do you normally do it? Oral? Spoil?
Melissa confirms that this usage has been an ongoing source of strain in the marriage. She says that she confronted Calvin about his addiction more than a year ago, at which...
See, this is crazy. I'm gonna just say this. How could someone you know is using meth be designated? I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge because that's crazy. Maybe people don't have a choice, but the primary caregiver is a meth user of two young children. I would rather be a single parent. I'd rather be a single parent and get the state help for that daycare because what? He's a meth user.
Which time he agreed to go into a treatment facility. In an exclusive interview with EWU, Calvin said this ultimatum came at a low point in their marriage.
It was a 9-month program that I was supposed to do, but the center that I went to, it turned out to not actually be like a rehab place. It was more like this military place that was for like people that...
Military place. I bet it meant rules, right? You probably couldn't really just fake your way through it. Maybe they expected you to actually leave and stop doing meth. His teeth are not giving, I stopped doing meth. His teeth are not giving, I stopped doing meth. I don't care what nobody says. The teeth are giving current user.
That they were waiting to go to trial, and as they completed this program that like they would get a lesser sentence. It wasn't for, it wasn't like no 12-step program or some type of stuff like that for rehab people. So I ended up like not wanting to stay there, and I left after a week.
Though Calvin didn't complete his rehab, he claims that he remained clean for a year. In her conversation with police, however, Melissa says,
I'm not going to say nothing. Bridget, I was about to answer you, but I would like to keep my place in heaven, so I'm not going to answer you. Meth poster child. Yeah, but straight up meth poster child. Very spooky looking, but I'm just concerned why somebody who has a substance use problem is being designated as a stay-at-home parent. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Josh, and I almost answered to, I almost took the bait. Let's continue.
Is that she'd already realized that afternoon that her husband must be off the wagon. The telltale sign was the tinfoil being out on the counter with a piece torn up and folded up, a sure indication that he'd been using that day. Calvin says that his illicit substance usage doesn't affect his household responsibilities, an answer that gets police no closer to understanding what led to Calvin's train incident, nor to the tragedy that ended his daughter's life.
Once you do a hit of meth, you do what? Clean the house and take care of the kids.
Back with Melissa, police ask if there's anyone Calvin may have been in contact with over the last 48 hours that might have supplied him with illegal substances. She readily gives them a list of names, the last of which is Calvin's ex-girlfriend, Melissa B. Melissa B's name also comes up in the interview with Calvin, who shares...
Yo, how do these men be having multiple women? That's what I want to know. Because they're about to introduce another woman that is with this crackhead. Honestly, I think that they're doing the women a favor of not putting them involved in it, because they obviously didn't do nothing wrong. Choosing the wrong partner is not necessarily a crime. Like, it happens. Sometimes you just end up with a person you don't know what their capabilities are. But look at this guy. How does he have two, not one, but two women in his wheelhouse? That's what I want to know. How's he got two? And they have the same name, Melissa B. It must be a cokehead community, and I don't care what type of community they come from. This is still a child's life gone. Sometimes people will act like, oh, it's just these cokehead babies. No, I don't care. If they bring a child into it, it's a child gone no matter what. But how does this dude have multiple women?
Some disturbing facts about the events surrounding their breakup.
So what happened with your ex then?
She got pregnant. It was mine. I really want to
So how did you handle that? How long ago was that? Like 7 years ago. How did you handle that situation? What did you do? You what? You dropped out of college?
In a shocking twist, police discover that a friend named Brett took Melissa B. to Calvin's apartment the same day these tragedies occurred. Brett tells the police they first drove past the parking lot just to make sure that Calvin's wife Melissa's car wasn't there.
You're saying, to the best of your knowledge, Melissa didn't enter the apartment that day?
Not that, but they were still in the same spot, it seems.
Yeah. And you said you heard Dosha give his wife's work schedule.
Yeah.
And the other.
It was just common conversations. Obviously, she hadn't been there for a while, so they were talking about what had been going on.
The police also spoke to Melissa B. about that day. She says Calvin was trying to figure out the time schedule for the train hours before tragedy struck.
That was the first day my wife went back to work from maternity leave. And, I got up in the morning with both our kids like I did every single day, changed diapers.
Wait, so he was trying to, sorry, I got the chills. He was trying to figure out the train schedule for what? For what? If you got the two kids with him.
Fed them and everything, and my daughter was only 2 months at the time. So, I had her swaddled up in her little swing that we had. And, I was sitting on the floor that morning playing with my son. We were playing with our Legos together, and I hear a knock on the door, and I automatically knew who it was because there's only one person that comes over at that time in the morning when my wife is gone. I knew it was my ex. That's when the first bad decision came in, is that I opened the door for her. And she was there, and a couple of other people came with her.
Calvin says that his visitors came bearing gifts.
my ex-girlfriend pulls out, a bag of drugs, a bag of meth, and she's like, "You want to smoke?" And that was my second bad decision.
This story differs considerably from what the police are hearing during the active investigation. The case turns over its head when investigators come across some unsettling.
And I'm not saying there's a Brad sound, right? Like everyone has a right to a voice. But he doesn't sound like your usual Pookie, So I'm just going to say that. Like he doesn't. So he might have fooled her into thinking he was like a good guy or something, That's what I'll say. Otherwise, I don't understand how this man has two women, right? Possibly having children with him. It's very disturbing. He did mention there in his phone testimony, whenever that was, that the second girlfriend or the ex-girlfriend says that she was pregnant with his baby.
Settling rumors circulating within the community.
Apparently, Melissa has told people that she saw the children that day and they were fine. Do you know why she'd say that?
I'm fairly certain that she had seen the little boy because he tried to open the door to let us in, and she's like, "No, we'll just sit." And that's when I went back up to the top step and they stood there at the doorway and talked. It was obvious that this wasn't, the first or second or third meeting with the wife we had gone.
As investigators gather more information from Brett and Melissa B., the reporting officer claims that as Calvin's family visited him in the hospital on the night of his train collision, they allegedly asked the hospital worker to hand over Calvin's cell phone to erase data that police don't need to see. When police hear this, they place the phone in a security department safe at the hospital to make sure that no one has access to the device. And
if y'all been watching, right, in the beginning of the video, when everyone was getting the reports of what was going on, his mama was over there like, my son, my son, my son, my son. Right? She's over there talking about her son, her son, her son.
Contents discovered in Calvin's phone will have stunning ramifications in the days to come. Later that night, a patient care technician tells police that several members of White's family said, quote, "It was an accident. He didn't mean to." However, all of the evidence so far suggests a more menacing intention at play. One way or the other, police are determined to resolve this mystery.
When you left the apartment today, nothing. Where were the kids at?
They were at home.
What's that?
They were still at home.
They were still at home?
Yeah.
Did anyone come to your apartment at all today? No, it was just you?
Yeah.
Did you leave the kids alone at any point prior to leaving your apartment today, this afternoon?
No.
Infant, right? Well, two infants, because one was 16 months or something like that, and the other one is 2 months. He's just leaving them casually. And again, I believe that this whole him getting hit with a train and breaking his jaw, whatever the hell happened to his stupid ass, I believe it was a diversion, right? He didn't want them to be hyper-focused on the fact that the infant, the 2-month-old, passed away, right? He wanted to suck some of the empathy out of the situation for himself. And I believe that's why he went to them damn train tracks. That's what I believe.
No. You didn't have any friends over. It was just you in your apartment.
No.
If the detective is skeptical about this part of Calvin's story, she lets it slide. However, there is at least one aspect of the afternoon that doesn't seem to make sense.
So you were in your apartment all day, alone with the kids. You text your wife for some chicken and beer. Why would you text your wife for chicken and beer and then leave your apartment? No, Calvin, don't give me the I don't know, because I know you do. You're remembering a lot more.
Indeed, Calvin would remember much more about that afternoon. In his exclusive 2024 interview with Iwu, he said that when his ex and some friends showed up at the door, he put the kids away so they wouldn't be witnesses to his relapse.
I grabbed my daughter and put her down in her crib in the back bedroom also. They shared rooms. The crib and his bed was in the same room. And when I laid her down in her crib, she has a pillow in her crib. And I laid her on top of it. I unswaddled her, and I laid her on top of it because I didn't want her to get hot. So I busted the swaddle off of her. So then I was at the bedroom door, and I went back into the living room where my friends were, and we sat there and smoked for maybe an hour and a half or so. And then they were like, we got to go, and they got up and left.
Calvin will soon reveal what happened next, but in her own interview with police, his wife Melissa explains what happened when she got home that day at around 2:45 p.m. and found the front door unlocked. When she went inside, she found her son screaming and her husband missing. She also noticed that her daughter was not in her usual baby swing in the living room. As she went into the back bedroom looking for the infant, she found something straight out of a living nightmare. Her 2-month-old daughter was lying on the bed, wearing only a diaper, her lips blue and her eyes half closed. That was when she called 911.
Were you depressed over something?
Of course, you found it.
The only thing you're depressed about is your drug use?
It seems that the detective suspects she isn't getting the whole truth out of Calvin. In an attempt to have Calvin reveal the truth, she begins to share gut-wrenching information about her findings at the apartment. Details that should get a reaction, unless of course he already knew those details before leaving the apartment that day.
We've been in your house, right? We've been in your house. Right, you know that. I mean, you got hit by a train. We got to do our due diligence here, right? No, and we can see that something is not right. Something's wrong, right? Was this something that was an accident? Calvin's injured. Well, that's what I'm asking you, Calvin. You're the only one home alone with her. Do you remember picking her up out of that swing? Calvin, look at me. Do you remember picking her up out of that swing? You laid her on the bed, probably changed her diaper, took her onesie off. She was crying.
It's not. And then pain, pretty very fun on the day. I'm showing out here and then showing out.
Calvin, she didn't make it to the swing, and you know that.
I want to figure out of her
But the detective doesn't let up, knowing that she may have to push beyond Calvin's boundaries to get to the truth.
I think something happened and I don't think that you intentionally did it. Calvin, that is a lot to handle. Think about running up and down your hallways, yelling and screaming and getting everything out after you just put it away. All you want is that one hit of meth. That's all you want. Why can't they stop crying? Why can't they stop screaming? Why can't they just stop? Right? That's all you want. I know you're thinking about it, and you're just replaying that in your head over and over and over again. That's a huge burden to carry. Calvin, that's a huge burden to carry. Are you sorry for what you did to... What's that?
Are you with DHS?
No, I'm not with DHS. Oh. Are you sorry for what you did to...
Calvin is no longer willing to talk to police, and he ends the interview. Wow. But in his interview with Iwu, he shared his version of what happened when his friends left that cold January day, and the moment he claims he made an unthinkable discovery.
And then I go to get my daughter up, and I noticed that she had rolled over face down into her pillow. And, and I picked her up, and I felt her body was limp, and I just kind of lost it. I absolutely lost it. I didn't know what to do, so I set her down on the floor, and I tried to give her CPR, and that really didn't work. And that's really all I can remember that happened to that point. I don't remember exactly, because I had kind of just blacked out, so I don't remember exactly what I did. The next thing I remember doing from the time of trying CPR, I remember being at the train tracks, and I decided to make that video that I made.
Calvin's current version of the events of that day differs wildly from the one he told police. It also seems to conflict with the detailed calendar police found on the White's refrigerator, which indicated that Calvin's wife Melissa went back to work on January 2nd, almost a full month before the tragedy, in contrast to what Calvin had told them.
That was the first day my wife went back to work from maternity leave.
But perhaps most importantly, it's
Wow, and they be committed. You know what gets me? They be committed to the lie. This is what people don't get about abusers, violent people, degenerates like this. They be committed to the lie. They will pass away with that lie, knowing damn well they're lying, but they need to stay playing the role. Same with domestic abusers. They will straight up show you. There'll be a woman right next to them, battered face, bleeding, everything. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's my wife, but I didn't do it. Nope, it wasn't me." They will straight up lie. And that's the crazy part about these type of abusive people. If you're abusive like that, I mean, stand on what that's it that you're doing. You know, you guys are going to see in the end of this video that he actually recorded himself when he was in his true nature, right? Because Bandits love to throw around nature. He was in his true nature when he recorded what we're about to see and what ultimately put him away, thankfully. You know, if you didn't see in the beginning of the video, he alludes to her harming both of his kids, not even just the one that passed away. Hey, Kiki Star. What's going on, boo? We're doing body cam footage. This is the first one, so you guys made it if you're just getting in here. I obviously didn't schedule this ahead of like 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm trying not to do that because I don't want to set a stream up and then just never show up because I'm tired or something else comes up. I'm trying to give you guys in the moment content every couple of days if I can. Every other day is probably what I'm looking for. Might be a couple of days in between. Bear with me. I'm always going to be back here. I'm also going to try and I'm going to shift a subject. So I'm going to shift away from body cam for like a week and go, or like a week and a half maybe, and just do other topics on this same format and see how it works out. I've always liked the presentation style, so hopefully you guys will like it. But let's get into it. This man is low tier.
Predicted by the very video that Calvin mentions making in the moments before the tragedy. It's a video that police discover on his phone only a couple of days after the incident, and it provides them with the damning evidence they need to secure a warrant.
And this is the phone that the hospital says that the mammy, and that's what I'm gonna call her, the mammy was trying to get so they could delete things that can be used improperly. Okay, mammy, this is a baby, by the way.
For his arrest.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm like a monster. I can't even control myself. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. I had plans to get myself out of the house first. I was just going to leave and go to Florida because I knew I was going to do something.
And why didn't you? Why didn't you? Watching him talk is more disturbing than looking at his picture. All right, I'm gonna play it back a little bit because this demon, y'all. I know y'all saw the muck on his tooth get all, The mom was trying to hide it. Yeah, the mom ain't shit. Especially when we realize what's really going on here. What's going on in Reluctant Gamer.
The incident, and it provides them with the damning evidence they need to secure a warrant for his arrest.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm like a monster. I can't even control myself.
Definitely.
I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. I had plans to get myself out of the house first. I was just going to leave and go to Florida because I knew I was going to do something. I was going to go overboard one time. I'm the reason she's dead. I'm the reason why the kids were always sick. They weren't sick. I was just killing them slowly.
Now, what does that sound like, right? Because they talked about, and the mom said that the little kids have been fighting a cold, fighting a cough, whatever. Now, I'm going to show you guys really quickly because this is not even funny at all. Look it, right? Because he said the babies were sick. They were fighting some type of cold. All right. So I'm gonna share this really quickly. All right. How do you tell if a body has been poisoned? General symptoms: feeling and being sick, diarrhea, stomach pain, drowsiness, dizziness, or weakness, high temperature, chills, loss of appetite, headache. This is what would appear to a parent is like a flu season cold. Oh, damn, y'all can't really see that well. Damn. My bad, y'all. I thought y'all were here seeing exactly what I see, but I realized I have to make it massive. Let me see now. How can you tell if a body has been poisoned? Feeling and being sick, diarrhea, stomach pain. A baby's not going to be able to vocalize any of that stuff. High temperature, though, chills. A baby will have a high temperature, and you'll know. And then you'll think, oh, it's a cold. He got something else going on. He is I think he's a psychopath, though, Robin, right? Because I think the psycho is where the danger comes in, right? Where there's that violent nature. But yes, he's crazy. He doesn't outright say, oh, I've been poisoning my daughters. But what he's saying, right? Let's go back over here to his ugly ass. I don't want to see this disgusting face.
I was gonna go overboard one time. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm like a monster. I can't even control myself. I knew it was gonna happen sooner or later. I had plans to get myself out of the house first. I was just gonna leave and go to Florida because I knew I was gonna do something.
And why didn't your ugly ass leave and go to Florida? This is what I don't understand. If you don't want to be a part of your children's lives, don't be. Go away. You ain't worth nothing anyways. You're not working. You're a stay-at-home dad, and then you need meth to be a stay-at-home dad. Go to Florida. Them kids will be equally as safe, if not safer, at a daycare. Yes, he's on meth. More of a psychopath, exactly because of the violent nature. Sociopath. Probably how he behaved, and you guys will hear a little bit more that he has to say about his woman that makes me think this guy is crazy. All my life, I never trusted people. Oh my God, shut up, Jade. Shut up, Victor. Lana says, wow, he should have just walked to jail, directly to jail. The thing is, he has a nerve to go and throw his ugly ass in front of a train, and I believe as crazy as he is, he probably did that as a diversionary tactic. Hey, my kid, I deleted my kid, right? My kid ended up passing away. So I'm going to try and take some of the heat or, try to put some of the heat somewhere else by harming myself too. Why else would you go jump in front of a damn train? Wait there. I'm over here reading your comment like, what? I'm not trying to make light of the situation at all. I wouldn't trust this guy either. And it's not just the teeth. Right? It's the fact that he has teeth like that. He don't work. He stay at home being a caregiver. Does this man look like he can nurture a baby? Look at his mouth. I'm not trying to be mean. A lot of the times you see a guy who's being the stay-at-home dad, he looks like a dad. He seems like, what I'm saying? Like he got it together. He's clean cut and things like that. You're not going to have a dust mite like this who's a addict. Right? Recent drug use. How is that the person watching an infant and a newborn? I just I'm not judging Kiki, if you would have heard him talk, I would never match the voice to this face. So I definitely agree. I definitely agree that they can have a charming allure. But we all know what he's saying here. He's saying he poisoned these babies.
I was going to go overboard one time. I'm the reason she's dead. I'm the reason why the kids were always sick. They weren't sick. I was just killing them slowly. I'm so sorry.
The video is damning, but in his interview with Iwu, Calvin insisted that much of what he said in that message was misunderstood, and his confession about the kids was only a reference to his substance abuse.
One day.
Nah, when he said deleting them slowly. In my head, the first thing I thought was poisoning. That's the first thing I thought. And, you know, obviously they prefaced the video telling us about, hey, the kids were fighting colds. The daughter was already fighting a cold earlier this month. She's 2 months old, mind you. She's fighting a cold. How is a 2-month-old fighting a cold? That's scary. I wouldn't be able to go nowhere. Yeah. Look at it, how his face was, how his teeth were salivating. Like, I don't even, if he was worried also, he could have gone to rehab too. Exactly. He had no intentions of changing. He was literally doing meth, doing bumps of meth, and then going to take care of the kids. That was how that's how he prepared to take care of the kids, doing a bump of meth. And then what? He just gonna bring the baby, go in the room, put the baby down, face down on the mattress, and then go do some more meth? These babies were unfortunately in danger every day with this man. And he obviously just admitted to being a deviant too.
You know, my wife is gonna find out, you know, she's gonna kick me out the house, I'm gonna lose custody of my son, and but all that's what I meant. But like, I was making the kids sick because I just felt like I was being really neglectful to my children by doing that every morning.
No.
That's all I meant by that. I wasn't doing anything to make them sick. It's not like I was like poisoning my child or anything. I would.
That's not true at all. He's trying to take it back now. He's trying to take it back now. But he said, I knew I was going to go overboard one day. I knew I was going to go overboard one day. I should have just went to Florida. Why would you need to go to Florida? Is there a rehab in Florida? Now, if he would have came out and said, oh, in that video, I should have gone to Florida, I should have gone to rehab, that's one thing. This man didn't address his drug usage at all. He literally said, I'm deleting them slowly. Now he's trying to walk it back. And I bet you the mammy who was trying to delete the video of what he said and things like that was the one who was trying to get him to change his story, gave him this idea to say all that. Especially after doing something so vile like this.
Wouldn't even know how to do that.
But that wasn't all Calvin confessed to on that video, and not all of it will be so easily explained.
Oh, Melissa. I was cheating on you the whole time. I was doing drugs the whole time. Truth is, I couldn't stand living with you. I hated you. You were just sexy, so it was a little easy.
Why do these demons always have such harsh feelings towards women? Like, he did not like that lady, and they have 2 kids together. Why? Why are you? Is it because you can be in this woman's house not working and just doing drugs while you're claiming that you're taking care of your children? Josh, I'm telling you, deviant, pure deviant. He was going to Florida because that will take him closer to the good. Oh my Lord!
Easier to put up with you. I didn't mean to kill. You're living me the whole time.
But that wasn't all Calvin confessed to on that video, and not all of it will be so easily explained.
Oh, Melissa. I was cheating on you the whole time. I was doing drugs the whole time. Truth is, I couldn't stand living with you. I hated you. You were just sexy, so it was a little easier to put up with you. I didn't mean to kill. All I did was throw pillows on top of her face so you couldn't hear her scream.
Wow.
That's all. She must have suffocated. I'm sorry.
It's apparently nothing short of a full confession, and though Calvin's story about what happened to his baby is shocking enough on its own, it's not the only incriminating statement he makes in the video. He also mentions an incident involving his ex-girlfriend, Melissa B.'s son, a subject that came up briefly in the hospital interview as well.
Who hurt him or what happened, I guess?
Right. Did he say she was... Right. Robin. This man... I don't know how he had one woman, much less a second one that was over there creeping up on him as soon as the girl went to work. She's a trifling hoe as well. There are children involved. I don't care whose man you're laying down with. You're just letting him sit there be doing. Listen, Robin, I'm trying to contain myself too, because not only is this deviant a dust mite, but he is ugly as hell, stupid as hell, just so easy to be like, oh, this is scum. I don't understand how anybody had 2 kids with him. She needed to leave. Yes. It's crazy. Like,
this thing ever. I don't know how to call it. Either, try to find.
No charges were filed. Great, but who? I guess I just want to know what happened to the kid.
Yeah.
He had a skull fracture.
Though Calvin denied any responsibility for this injury when speaking to the detective, he told a much different story in the self-filmed video hours earlier.
The reason why Melissa lost her kids, because I gave her kid that skull fracture. The drugs changed me to this monster that even I couldn't control.
As for his confession about his ex-girlfriend's child, Calvin had this to say in his interview with Iwu.
When I made the video, I was thinking of a couple of things. I was thinking of 2 girls that I still love, which is my wife and my ex. So I was thinking of ways to help them, and I thought that one way I could help my ex is if I could help her with, her kids, because of that incident, her kids got taken away, and that's when the whole mess thing started. So I'm like, all right, if I admit it, that I did it, then they would go ahead and give her kids back, and maybe then if she gets her kids back, she'll get off drugs, That was the whole plan behind it, but I honestly, I didn't hurt that child.
On February 2nd, 4 days after the infant's death, police go back to Iowa Methodist Hospital to take Calvin, the self-described monster, into custody.
So if you would just go ahead and stand up, come right over here. Yeah, we'll get your coat for you, and go ahead and put your hands behind your back here. Calvin, I'm placing you under arrest for murder in the 1st degree and child endangerment causing death. This officer here, once we get these cuffs on you, he's going to read you your Miranda rights so that you don't have to talk to us at any time during this trip up there. We're going up to Story County Jail, okay?
When police later told Melissa White what they learned from her husband's confession video, she simply said no and began to cry.
Mom, you want to give him a hug?
Yes, hold on. All right. Yeah.
Calvin White made a plea deal with Story County prosecutor.
I don't know, like, how do these parents be standing by their deviant kids like this? Like, I don't know. There's video like this of my child basically admitting to poisoning his children. Like, I'm sorry, it's up for, like, we're not, I don't know.
And the charge of 1st-degree murder was dropped. As part of the agreement, Calvin entered a plea of guilty to the charge of child endangerment resulting in death.
Yep.
In his interview with Iwu, Calvin said that he didn't believe he could get a fair trial in the mostly white Iowa County.
And have the nerve. And then, you know what annoys me about these deviants? These deviants are the first ones that will evoke racism. They'll try to bring Jim Crow into it. No, you're a deviant. It doesn't matter where you go. We're going to see that you're a deviant because you said yourself what you did to this baby, this innocent child. You admitted it. Yes, this is the guy that was hit by the train. Ironically, he went and got himself hit by a train after deleting his child and admitting it. I don't know if it was a deletion attempt, like a real one, or if it was just meant to get him some sympathy so they can think that him and the babies were victims. No, them babies were victims. You are a deviant on your own. But, this one was just, very wicked, because it was just, you got to be careful who you have kids with. You can't just have any deviant's baby. Like, it's so sad. That was a very tragic case. The woman obviously thought that She obviously thought that she was with somebody who was worth something, which is so unfortunate. Which is so unfortunate for her and those poor babies. All right, so the next one. Well, that's unfortunate, Victor. Maybe you should create some rehabs and things like that, so that these black men who are up in the Midwest and things like that can get treatment for their addiction to substances. All right. So the next one is going to be about a old YouTube channel. It doesn't exist anymore. They were called Fantastic Adventures. This particular parent had a YouTube channel, kind of showing her family and her kids doing all types of stunts and things throughout the day. Now, I chose to include this one because literally, like, YouTube is becoming, or it's always been, this place, like this Twilight Zone, right? This Twilight Zone where you can come and just portray, and look at what's going on right now with Isis Morales. Everyone, when we first heard that story, so we had so much empathy, sympathy for her and her children, just to come out now and find out that this is just like a internet issue. I don't know what it is. There's no real charges pending against her spouse. Everything that is going on between this couple outside of the divorce and things is anonymous, supposedly. I mean, like, YouTube is just becoming a place where people come and create fantasies. Look at No Fugazi podcast. He's Fugazi as hell, surprisingly. But the name of his podcast is No Fugazi. Right, but this is a old case of 2019. It's only about 5 years ago, and this was a channel called Fantastic Adventures. This is the body cam footage of the police responding to her house the day that there were some people who turned her in for these interactions. I started watching this earlier, but I got distracted. Yeah, the body cam footage is just, it sucks you in. I definitely don't recommend moving to Iowa. You know what's so funny? Like, I went to school with a girl that she was like, girl, I ran away from wherever to come over here. And I was like, where are you from? She's like, oh, I'm from DeKalb something, wherever. And I looked up that town and it was like one of the ghettoest. I was like, damn, I see why you ran away. She's like, yeah, girl, you should move there. I was like, were you trying to set me up to get robbed or something? Like, no, I'm not moving to no Iowa. All right, let's get into this next one. Trigger warning, the kids are going to describe some things about their foster mothers. So,
her mom did foster care for 14 years. She's adopted these 7 kids.
They make YouTube videos. What's the longest she's ever made you go without eating? 4 days. Straight 4 days. No food and no water? No food, no water. Oh, I'm gonna have a better family.
You want to have a better family?
With over 800,000 subscribers at its height in 2019, the Fantastic Adventures YouTube channel is a showcase of wholesome family entertainment in the digital age. But as Michelle Hobson's adopted kids paint a picture of perfect childhood joy in front of the cameras, they are mercilessly subjected to cruelty and sadism behind the scenes. It's only when one brave child comes forward with the truth that police realize the monstrous horrors that have unfolded in this house of misery. Names of all children in this video have been changed to protect their identity. On March 13, 2019, police in Maricopa, Arizona field a call from a young woman named Megan who wants to file a disturbing report. Please note that all suspects charged with a crime are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law.
Okay, and what did you report?
Child. I guess that sums it up the best.
Okay, is your child involved, or is it something that you know that's happening to someone else's child, or?
It's my sibling. It's my little sibling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's my family.
With these dreadful words hanging in the air, the dispatcher arranges for officers to meet with Megan and her sister Jordan outside the Maricopa Police Department. The responding officers quickly realize that this isn't just about one child.
So it's 9 people in the home. 2 are 2 adult brothers and 7 are foster kids. Her mom's did foster care for 14 years. She's adopted these 7 kids.
And that's why the foster care system gets such a bad name, despite how helpful it does become for a lot of children who are without families, without stable caregivers, right? Foster care is so important. But there is so many people in that system around the US, not in any particular states, around the whole country. There's so many people who abuse that system, right? They know, to them it's a bag. It's money. Right? They know. That's why a lot of times those people in those like money-oriented foster care situations, you see them as soon they will get rid of a kid that is a lot of work or who has a lot of troubling behaviors because they're really not in it for that. But the best foster parents are the ones that will take in kids from all levels, and they will be that safe space for the kid. It's really tragic. It's really tragic that cases like this just remind us how vulnerable children in the system are.
Megan explains that her adopted sister, Stacy, has made some shocking allegations. With cell phone in hand, Megan began recording Stacy's story of brutal mistreatment at the hands of her adoptive mother, Michelle Hobson.
And when was this video taken?
Today.
Today. Okay.
Where she locks me in a room with only underwear and tank top.
Sorry, y'all. Thank you so much, Joshua, for the catch up. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for encouraging everyone else to please support the content creators via Cash App. You guys can send gifts. There's a new gift thing where you can just like purchase little jewels and send them out throughout different shows. So make sure you guys look into that. I appreciate your support always, Joshua. You are one of my number one supporters. I appreciate you. It's kind of sick. I don't know. I know they mentioned one of the kids is going to mention some questionable things that she does. But what is the purpose of keeping the kids locked in a room like that with no clothes? You know what I mean? Like, what is these people are so weird, and it really makes me question like how they vet these people. I know you can't really vet a person, but I feel like how do they vet these people? It must just be if they have the income to be able to take the kids, because I don't understand how so many of these foster parents turn into deviants. Like, they just turn out to be the worst type of people.
That room is in your house, in the house.
It's in my mom's bedroom. She got all the carpet ripped out and put in tile for it.
Is there a lock on the closet?
She doesn't let us eat for at least 2 days straight, or maybe more. No food and no water? No food, no water. Do you get a good bathroom whenever you need? No.
And that little girl is brave. That's why I'm like, she is brave. She is the only one of her siblings that was willing to speak up on what was going on. And you guys will see she is going to be a really tough kid in the rest of this video as well. But she's incredibly brave.
With only underwear and tank top. Doesn't give me a blanket. What kind of room is it? A closet, and it's a tile floor. No carpet, just an empty green room. How many other people sleep in there? 3.
That room is in your house, in the house.
It's in my mom's bedroom. She got all the carpet ripped out and put in tile for it.
Is there a lock on the closet?
She doesn't let us eat for at least 2 days straight, or maybe more. No food and
And make sure you guys remember that, right? There's a lock on it. Where's the room? It's in her. It's like a closet in her room. It's like a green screen room. Just remember those details because they're going to come up once the body cam footage gets rolling.
no water? No food, no water. Do you get a good bathroom whenever you need? No. Once I had to pee, and she locked me in that room because I did something, and I peed myself because she didn't let me go. Does she like that to everyone? Yes. That's why she gives everyone pull-ups, because she knows that they're going to pee.
As vile as her stories have been thus far, she will spill even more dark secrets before the night is through. For now, however, the police have heard enough to know that a home visit, at the very least, will be necessary. They talk with Jordan and Megan, who are Michelle's biological children, to get a description of their mother.
White female, she's brown hair.
About how tall?
She's probably 5'8". Yeah. They make YouTube videos.
That's their sole income. That's
all of them. My mother's.
That's their sole income, right? So the mom obviously is a YouTuber by trade or whatever you want to call it at this point. In the beginning of the video, they mentioned she amassed a following of up to 800,000 subscribers, right? So what those people were witnessing, unfortunately, was a very tough situation for these kids' lives. And obviously, YouTube, once they find out somebody is a violent predator, somebody who's hurting children, those channels get yanked off. So there's no evidence of those channels anymore unless they were clipped back then. Obviously they probably were by some geniuses out there who understood the censorship that was coming to the internet. But yeah, they yanked her channel right off. 800,000 subs, and they were watching these kids because she didn't, besides those grown kids that you guys are going to see a little bit later in this video, she didn't have any other kids with her. She didn't have any other biological children. These young kids that she had up in this house were doing the YouTube channel with her.
Indeed, Michelle's adopted children are stars of a sort. The family began shooting videos in 2017 after admiring the success of other kid-oriented channels. With a variety of playful skits featuring the children, the Fantastic Adventures channel is a smash hit by 2019, attracting more than 800,000 subscribers. Police must now find out if these seemingly joyful young YouTube stars were being tormented behind the cameras the entire time. They head out to the Hobson residence with no real certainty about how Michelle will react or what kind of dreadful sights they might encounter beyond this front door.
Hi, Donnie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Officer Bernice. I'm with the Maricopa Police Department.
Okay.
We need to do a welfare check in this house.
Oh, okay. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Where is your mother at?
She's upstairs. You want to go get her?
Yeah, I can go up there and get her.
Okay. Mom. Mom. She's up here.
Okay, can I go up there with you?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Notice the grown-ass son there, too. Right? That's a grown man. And when you see the mother, there's no question of whether or not he can overpower her.
Stand up. Sorry. What? It's a police department.
Why? Hi.
Can I help you?
I'm Donnie.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to turn off the light on you. What's going on?
Do you mind if I talk to you?
Yeah.
You want to take the kids downstairs?
Yeah. Oh, come on, guys.
Okay. Have a seat.
I need you to go downstairs. Is there any other kids up here?
Yeah,
There's
go downstairs.
some in there. Okay.
Come on.
Yeah, hi. Have a seat. All right, whatever you want to do.
Hold on.
With 7 kids running around this expansive house, wrangling them all downstairs is no easy trick. As the cop goes to assist with the task, he noticed.
And if you hear how she treats these kids, they're not short of money. They're not, from what we're seeing, the looks, right? Because everything looks good, right? They got their nice beds. They got this big house. The pantry and everything is full. It's not an empty house. So there's really no need for what she's doing. And they're not her biological kids. So she's a foster parent, a parent that these kids are seeking. Were seeking, just for a better family. They probably thought they hit the jackpot. Right? They probably thought they hit the jackpot with this family. Oh, nice lady. She got a nice house. She got money. They probably thought it was a fairy tale come true. I know how them kids go. I know in the foster care, them kids just be waiting and hoping and wishing that the next family is going to be the best family. That's all they can do. And I don't blame a lot of the kids for giving up eventually. America needs Shari a lot too much crime and injustice. That's never going to happen. But I think... I do think that we're going to start to see a swing in the other direction in terms of crime. because I think crime, I don't know, it feels like crime has been going up significantly. I think it's been going up significantly, and I think it's getting more egregious. Especially, we're seeing like parent deleters now. We're seeing even more infanticide and even more DV and things like that. So
this is something that matches what Stacy said in her video.
Hold on. Watch. Yeah. Hey, I need you guys to go downstairs, okay?
Okay.
Is there anybody else in this room? Come on, no, leave him alone. Come here, buddy.
I'm getting dressed.
Oh, you had a pull-up on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's go out. Okay.
While the officer
why are all them kids in pull-ups too? Right, because we know once you get towards 4 and up, it's starting to be questionable why a kid would still be in diapers. Right, 4 and up, we're starting to ask questions. Why is that baby still in diapers?
tries to round up one last straggler, Michelle appears to grow uneasy with him being in her bedroom.
Can you come here, sir? 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 They'll gather them downstairs.
With the children accounted for, the officer explains to Michelle why the police are in her house. Her reaction is not one of shock.
All right, here's what's going on.
Okay.
Like I told you, my name's Donnie. All right. To be quite frank with you, we received a report of child neglect. All right. So that's why we're here. Okay.
From who?
Right now, that's irrelevant. Okay. So this is what's going to happen. Okay.
Just tell me what's going on.
We need to interview all of your kids separately. Okay.
Okay.
And we need to conduct a search of the residence.
Hold on.
Now we could do these two ways. Okay. Legally, you're entitled to
Can
your.
you come back here? Because I don't see a warrant or anything.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
yeah, you're fine. We're making sure there's nobody else in the house, okay?
With Michelle concerned that her rights are being violated, the officer assures her that they are going to do this by the book.
Constitutionally, you have your rights. One of the ways that we are entitled to do this is with your consent, okay? So it means you give me your consent to go through your house and look for any evidence that might be possibly used against you, okay? The other way is that we get a search warrant and then we go through the residence with the search warrant, okay? So those are the two options, okay? I would like to speak to the kids freely with your consent. You're not gonna be there when this is going on. But again, you also have the right to say, no, you're not gonna interview my kids, okay? But right now we are doing a welfare check on the children. We're gonna talk to them, make sure they're okay. There's no bruises, anything like that, okay? So what do you think about this?
I think we're in the middle of a packing scenario, and my house is trashed because we've dug stuff out of everywhere, and I don't approve of you really going.
Victor, what does this have to do with race? All right, what does this have to do with race? The cops aren't just gonna burst into anybody's house and start, oh, you're abusing your kid. They can't. Even when they go into Black people's houses, same difference. We gotta take away race from these conversations and have a real conversation about what is happening to children, right? Children are one of the biggest victims. Children, women, right? We're not going to act like femicide is not real. Femicide is a real thing. A lot of women are victims of femicide. Whether the U.S. declares femicide something separate or not, those are the most at-risk people. And we can't make it a racial thing and try to act. No, all races, all socioeconomic statuses across the board are going through these high rates of DV, high rates of infanticide, child deletion, things like that. The most dangerous time for a child is the first year of their life. The first year of their life, imagine that. Which you would think the people around them be keeping them the most safe. That's actually the time that the child is more likely to pass away. Let's continue.
You're my residence at this particular point in time.
Okay.
So, however, I really approve of that. You could talk to my children. I mean, my children are all safe and.
Okay.
I want to know what the report thing was prior to this.
This won't be the last time that Michelle will request the specific details of the report. But while the police maintain their professionalism, they let her know that she's not in control of this situation.
I would like to talk to one of my daughters because she just started crying and she said she knows that it was
You're not talking to any of your kids
she
right
said
now.
she knows it was my she knows it was my adult child who called on me, so I'm wondering why she.
I don't know. But right now, you're not going to have any access to your kids.
With Michelle detained in the upstairs living area, the officers are free to ask questions to the adopted children downstairs.
Do you like living here?
Yeah.
Yeah? You have fun here? Yeah? What happened to your head there?
I'm gonna fight with my brother.
You were in a fight with your brother? Yeah. What are the diapers on the floor for? You got small kids here? Yeah. Don't drink water too fast. You're gonna get hiccups. Do you not get water very often? You don't?
How do you need over here?
We just wanted to check on you guys and just make sure everything was okay. You remember I told you that we've been checking on you every now and then, right?
Yeah.
The kids, they're getting some water, juice, chugging the hell out of it. Why are they doing that? The pantry's not short of food. She hasn't missed a meal.
As the cops begin the process of finding out what's been happening in this home, Michelle continues to demand answers.
Can I talk to the senior staff, Lieutenant?
I don't see why not, if you really need to want to talk to them right now.
Sure thing. I'm just asking what the complaints were.
We got a call about possible child.
But what type of child?
Physical.
Okay, from?
So I can't tell you that because I didn't take the call, so I don't know who called. But I know based on the call that we need to speak to all the kids.
Sure.
Okay. Any other questions I can?
Not really. I mean, I'm just, I'm shocked.
Understandably. So what happens, Michelle, is when we get calls like this, we just don't take a person's word for it.
Thank God.
So that's why.
Victor, when there is a welfare check, right, and the accusation is that the parent is abusing the kids, right, they're entitled to speak to the kid first and separate of their parents. They're entitled to that. And if anything that the kids are saying can be substantiated, then at that point, they investigate further. That's what's going on here. They're not going to be talking to the kids present when she's the one accused of abusing them. Let's use our brains here. Let's use our thinking brains.
Why we come in and we'll want to do an actual check of the kids.
Sure.
But I don't want to call DCS on you or any other person that I don't know if this is true. I don't know you,
right?
You know?
Michelle expresses a certain relief that the police aren't going to necessarily call the Arizona Department of Child Services, an organization she's had plenty of contact with over the last few years. Their interventions thus far have accomplished nothing, however, which is why it seems that Stacy...
And when they say unsubstantiated, look at the pantry ain't missing. The pantry, there isn't one empty, and the only thing that's empty is where most of them people can't reach up there. They got plenty of food, plenty to drink. Why are the kids acting like they haven't had a drink? What are you talking about, Vic? You're so off topic.
A young girl who recorded the original video is not completely confident that anything is going to be different this time.
I'm here to help.
And it's what I was trying to address there, and I got caught off guard by whatever the hell Victor is talking about in the chat with Josh. Here's what I'll say. The CPS has gotten involved several times. Just because a case comes out unsubstantiated doesn't mean that there's no abuse there. It doesn't mean that. A lot of the times, I'm not going to lie, I got very disheartened working in the field of, helping exploited children and things like that, because the people in the field are too fatigued, right? They're too fatigued. They're burnt out. They've been doing the work for so long. They're so used to it. They don't raise the proper red flags. These kids, a lot of the times, they'll mention something that happened to them. When it comes to substantiating it, they'll ask stupid questions. They won't get down to the real investigating because it requires a lot at that point. Where are they going to put this child? The field is burnt out. The field is burnt out, and that's exactly why a lot of children end up staying in these households, because they know either go out there and get the best, roll the dice with what it is that you can find out there type of family, or just stick it out in whatever situation you have. And I bet you her biological children probably dealt with some type of her types of behaviors similar, if not as egregious as well. Why else would they be so quick to turn her into the police? The other sons obviously were okay. They're sitting in the house, grown babies in pull-ups, not thinking anything is wrong with it. Victor, not everybody is coercing children, right? Sometimes kids just know what's happening to them, right? Sometimes kids can't help but be vulnerable and say, this is what's happening. I have no control. This is what this parent, and that's all there is to it, and nobody coerced them into nothing. If you guys just always try to find an excuse, oh, well, that's the police made them say it, or da-da-da, you never have to deal with the fact that there are actually very abusive parents out there. There's a lot of abusive parents, man and woman. And obviously, women being the main caretakers of children, right? Unlike the last story we saw, women being the main caretakers of children are actually a lot of the times going to be the ones who are offending on children, who are doing the child abusing or facilitating it. It is what it is. But it's not always cool. It's not, most of the time it's not coercion. Most of the time it's exactly what's been going on in that family, and people have been turning a blind eye to it or don't want to deal with it.
Okay? I want to make sure nothing happens to you or your brothers or your sisters. Okay? Okay? Do you understand what that means? Okay, what do you think it means?
To help people. Like if there's anybody bad, you come and save us from them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay? You're fine, baby. You're fine. You want to sit up? You don't have to cry. You're fine. Here we go. Here. Sit down on this bench. Huh? Here we go. Sit down on the bench. Why are you crying? Why are you crying?
I want to have a better family.
You want to have a better family? I'm sorry.
The young girl desperately hopes that the end of her nightmare has finally come, and when she tells the officer more of what Michelle has done to her, it's clear that salvation has arrived not a moment too soon.
I know it's really hard to leave my mom, but...
Yeah. I think that's okay.
You know that spray that you use when there's like bad people and stuff?
Yeah.
DPPER?
Yeah.
Spray?
Pepper spray? Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, baby.
Empty two of those bottles on me.
Okay.
The allegations against Michelle are growing more shocking by the moment, but right now she's more concerned about who is behind this police report in the first place.
She's the little blonde one down there. She, as soon as my son said, the police are here and they're coming up the stairs, she starts crying and she goes, I know who it is, I know who it is. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And she goes, it's Jordan, which is one of my adult daughters. Okay. And she has a very big vengeance against me right now. So I cut her off. She did try to contact me and try to.
And these narc parents and these narc people in general, they're always a victim, right? Someone's always out to get them. No, I didn't block you, Victor. I didn't block you. So if you click that StreamYard link, you should be able to come here because I'm in the vertical of StreamYard. Incredibly heartbreaking. It is, because that's a little girl, and they're gonna ask all the other kids. The other kids aren't gonna speak up. She's the only one. So it's actually very sad what these kids have been going through. What's even more tragic is this big whale was doing this to young little kids, you know?
To say, well, if I want to be a part of her life, blah, 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 I had to jump through these hoops and whatnot. I basically just blocked her. I said, no, I'm fine with the way my life is. I don't need that extra stress in my life of somebody who wishes I was dead and is waiting for their inheritance. You know what I'm saying? It's like, she literally, the last time I saw her, she's like, I'm just waiting for the life insurance.
Whatever the truth might be regarding Michelle's relationship with her daughter, Jordan, it doesn't change the fact that her other adult daughter, Megan, was every bit as instrumental in getting the cops involved. Of course, Michelle doesn't know that yet and continues to blame Jordan.
She's always threatened to call DCS on me because she knows that every parent's worst nightmare is that.
I don't think so, Dawn, because I didn't see anything. Dawn says, did the gift thing work? I don't know. If you bought a package of gifts, so what it does is it lets you keep it in the chamber. So if you go back to like where you would make a financial contribution to the channel, it should let you disperse the gifts as you please. So if you bought more than one, it will just save it in like a chamber for you. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm not sure. They've just been rolling this out now on my channel and other channels. But once you've bought the gift, it should go like in your stored gifts on your account. So when you go, like if you were to go send a super chat, the gift that you bought, you can just use one of them. Oh, okay. See, I didn't see it yet, Dawn. I don't know how this new thing works. It just shows me the one so it'll show me super chats, but I don't know how the gifts work. I don't want you to go too crazy, but I know that the gift thing is pretty new, but it lets you buy the jewels or whatever so that you can send them whenever. You know what I mean? So you can you can buy the jewels today. Let's say you get $20, you buy the jewels today. You come back in other streams and you can disperse the jewels as you please. That's how it works out, but I don't know how that shows on my channel. So I'm not sure if it lets you buy it and then just saved it or what, but I didn't see it here. If I did, I will definitely shout you out on here and highlight it for you. But thank you again for interacting with the channel. The link is not working. Are you on your phone, Victor? I think for the StreamYard verticals, you have to come up on your phone. That's what I think. Or sorry, not your phone. I think you might have to come up on the computer. From what I've heard, the phone doesn't seem to work with this StreamYard link, which is weird. But let's continue with the video. Again, the kid just mentioned what the mom be doing to them. She mentioned pepper spray and sort of just spraying them for things that they do wrong in the house.
Having DCS called on them. She's threatened to make up stuff in the past. She's threatened to, just do all kinds of stuff. If I looked at my children wrong, I was using them, Right.
But of course, DCS has been out to Michelle's house on many prior occasions.
Every time my brother runs away and CPS comes, he makes us lie. Just like good things, nothing.
Okay.
Wow, so the brother be chronically running away. That's another sign that there's a tumultuous lifestyle going on in the house, right? If an adoptive child is running away consistently, whatever they're going through, they will prefer to be on the streets than to be in that house, right? That's a telltale sign. A lot of the times, the CPS people, they just chalk it up to that being the kid's pattern of behavior. They sometimes come to assume, hey, the kid is just acting out and not there's something tragic that could be going on in that house. And that's the sad part. They don't have the resources.
I'm just listening, okay?
You guys saw the video that I was talking to the camera and my sister Megan was talking to me?
Yep.
It's all true. It's happened. My room upstairs. I want the door closed.
You want this door closed?
We don't have a hearing.
Okay.
I'm gonna get in trouble for tweeting.
All right, well, come on in. Yeah, it's pretty tight, but hey, whatever makes you feel safe, okay?
It's hard to leave my phone, but I have to. I don't want you telling my other siblings.
I won't.
Please.
I'm not gonna tell them. Can I ask them if everything's okay at home? I'm not gonna tell them anything you said.
I want to tell you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a dinner. She won't let me have dinner. And it's police for me now. And she's starting me 4 days before.
4 days? You haven't eaten in 4 days.
No, before.
Okay.
Since Michelle started homeschooling the children, things have not been the same. It clearly is not a strict curriculum, however, as Stacy says she's not allowed to do any schoolwork, and Michelle herself tells the police that she mostly focuses on teaching the children life skills because none of them are going to be, quote, rocket scientists. As the officers take in the serious acts of cruelty and neglect that have taken place in this home, Michelle grows impatient once again with the lack of information.
Tell me, what's going on?
So they said you had more questions?
Yeah, you said you were interviewing one last child, so
Yeah.
where we are from here.
Right now, based on some information that we received, we are going to have contact DCF.
Okay, why?
Okay. I'm not going to release that information to you. All I can tell you is that there's going to be an investigation. So that's
I've ever done this with my child. I spanked the child. Like, what?
As Michelle complains about the inconvenience of a police investigation, her adopted daughter gives the cops a glimpse at the fear her tyrant mom has instilled in her.
Is there anything in here that you want to eat right now while we're waiting? Seriously, anything. Look, you got some chips. You got. No. Listen, don't worry about that. No, she's not. No, she's not. No, she's not. You are not going to talk to mom right now. Okay? Grab a bag of chips. Go ahead, grab a bag of chips. Perfect. Sit down, okay? Enjoy. Look at me. I want to help you.
The realization that this child is too scared of her mom to risk eating a small bag of potato chips is almost unthinkable, but it's clear that Stacy is justified in her fear given what she shared with the officer.
I couldn't stand it.
I know, baby.
They were to kill me.
It's horrible.
Thing in my neck.
It's horrible, baby.
This is an allegation the police are already familiar with, as Stacy spoke about it in the original video.
Right, just 2 days ago, she said, because I was talking to my brother. He said I was talking to him, and she said she's going to slice my neck open.
Stacy tells the officer it isn't uncommon for Michelle to use such brutality and...
So she's starving these kids, right? That's what we've come down to. She's starving these kids. The kids are afraid to eat. The police are coming in, letting them have water and juice. They're drinking like they never drank before. Why is that when there's a pantry full of food and snacks? They're probably like, why would these kids be missing meals? Right? And then during this call, they're gonna come to the realization about what has been going on in this house consistently, right? How she's choosing to punish them.
And threats of violence to keep the children in line.
Literally today, she got mad that I woke her up from a nap. And when she woke up from her nap, she said, you guys don't get dinner. I was like, it wasn't me. I didn't wake you up. Which it was because I wanted dinner. I was hungry. And she was like, well, you don't get dinner. And I started crying about it because I was hungry. Everybody's hungry.
Look at that fridge.
She's like, if you don't sit up, I'm going to take you into the bathroom and make sure I cut your lip open, and I'll do it a couple more times to make sure it's nice and deep and make sure it's... I don't know if I still have one.
You're fine, baby.
The type of people that be starving kids, like it's ridiculous. You know, obviously she hasn't missed a meal. There's a plate right by her bed. She just ate something. Like, how is she comfortable starving these kids? Sorry, y'all. You know when this one piece of hair just be sticking on your face and you be like trying to take it off. A fridge full of food, counters full of food. Like they're not missing food. There's no reason to be punishing the kids with consumption. Hey, you can't eat because you did something I told you not to do. She needs to miss a few hundred meals. She needs to miss the rest of the meals left for her life, right? But, you know, obviously unfortunately, she gets to take the easy way out, I believe, in this case. But let's continue.
I got bruises all over me because of her special.
Okay.
I want to get out of this house.
As Stacy tearfully recounts the unspeakable horrors that she and the other children in the house have been subjected to, Michelle maintains the role of the good mother who is being falsely accused.
Trying to search my brain. I don't even know. You're allowed to spank the child, right?
Well, just use for discipline, absolutely, yep.
So what else would you use it for?
Be surprised.
But it's not at all clear that Michelle's idea of discipline fits the standard definition.
Sometimes. Why?
Because I've accidents.
Oh, yeah. Did you have any reasons or what?
No, it's because I need some water.
You ran from your mom the last time you said, right?
Yeah.
Because you were afraid. What usually happens? I don't remember. So tell me what happened the last time.
You're speaking, but you don't want to say it. It's just not safe. It would give me
You said you get beat when you're back.
I found it strange for the car.
Just that. Anything else?
No, not really.
While Joseph may not share further details, if any, Stacy is fully willing to describe the hell she and her siblings have been living in.
Literally, she takes his armpit and twists it by her nails. Her nails are even and takes it and puts it, she spit in their face. She literally takes another little spit and spits it in our face. I don't know what kind of mom does this to us. And then she always tells us to lie. I don't want to live with Megan.
As Stacy continues to delve into the horrifying conditions of Michelle's brutal dictatorship, it becomes obvious that food plays a major role in the punishment of the children.
And then mom makes up lie. You don't get anything for 4 days straight because you were being horrible. No food, no water. Haven't even had water once today.
Eat these chips. Eat them. You're not in trouble. You're not in trouble for eating right now. Okay? I'm telling you to eat these chips. Okay?
I was like, cops don't even hear me. You're being horrible. They still feed you. She said on the Bible, it says do not feed kids if they're bad.
It's not true.
And take back and only feed kids. It says that on the Bible. She said.
I love you, and I don't even know you.
I love you too, because you're saving me from this house.
I know, baby.
While her adopted daughter crouches in a pantry eating chips, Michelle seems to realize that it might not look good if the children reveal that they've yet to eat dinner at nearly 10 o'clock at night.
Why is it, again, you got 9 kids up in your house, or there's 9 people in your house? Why did you eat? Why did your sons eat, but the little kids didn't eat? Your big ass and them sons didn't need to eat a damn thing. Why didn't the kids eat? And it's almost 10 o'clock. They're big enough to be taking care of themselves. Why can't they just walk in their kitchen and make some food? Right? Why do they need to wait for you to come down there and make a pizza?
Yeah, can the boys do it down there? Please ask them to do that. Because I just found out me that the older children, the older children have not eaten. They're the only ones that have not eaten. The 2 babies have eaten.
The news that they will soon be fed appears to come as a surprise to at least one child.
Your brothers are going to heat up some pizza.
All of you. All of you.
He's clearly not the only one caught off guard by this surprise meal.
But I think she's feeding you because she's scared that you guys are going to say you haven't.
That's why we just gave him all that stuff.
I know.
No, everybody knows he's not allowed to eat for a week. Mom was trying to make. He's like, you're not eating for a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4 months.
Okay. I can tell how you guys are acting with the fruit snacks and with the drinks because you guys haven't. I know that. I know that. I can see it, baby.
I was gonna lie, but I couldn't.
You don't need to lie. Okay? You don't need to lie.
In the meantime, even without a search warrant in hand, the cops can't help but notice some odd and perhaps even suspicious sights in the house.
Why is the key in the door here? Why is the key in the door?
When we were in foster care, we had to basically have everything locked up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like any sort of chemical, like any sort of like hardware or acting systems like hardware, we have to have like all that locked up.
And now it's a playroom.
The playroom. Wow.
You know what's funny? The kid is slick. That kid is slick. Let me just say this: the kid is slick snitching because he said, "Oh, the guy was like, oh, this used to have chemicals and all that. We used to have lock all this stuff up." And the kid came in and said, "Now it's a playroom." Right? And remember the name, not the name, the room that the kid described earlier in the video. Earlier, she described a room with tile, green, and green tile on the wall or on the floor, whatever. That's the room that she described. So it went from being a storage for things that the foster kids couldn't keep around. Hey, good afternoon, or good evening, I should say, 7:42 over here. Mr. Terrence, good to see you. But she basically, the room that they're about to walk in was described by the children.
Cool.
The police will still have their search warrant, however, and when they speak to Michelle about the process.
And he slicked one in there and basically said, "Oh yeah, they used to keep all this stuff in here stored. Now it's our playroom." Right? Now we've turned it into a playroom. This tucked in the corner, weird room with a lock on the outside.
She has a sudden epiphany.
If they conduct a search warrant and there's nothing found to support those allegations, then that still benefits you. And I know that, okay, but They still have to do their job.
I
So
know what it is now.
what do you mean by that?
I just think that because of what my daughter knows, I know what it is now because she knows what it is to raid my house is in. I bet you anything. Just know that the only weapon I have in my house is a can of pepper spray, and I have a feeling it has to do with that because my daughter.
Okay.
I've been racking my brain all freaking for hours right now, or forever since you guys got here.
I know.
And it's been hurting. I'm like, what have I done?
This is the one
What have I
frustrating
done
part
wrong?
of
It's perhaps not so surprising that Michelle would make a connection between pepper spray and her daughter, considering a story that Stacy told the cops earlier.
My Jordan, you know, called you. She came home from work. I haven't seen her in like 4 months. And she came home from work. It was late at night. She was hungry. So she brought her pizza because she fell asleep on the couch. And so Mom told me to go get the pepper spray and try to pepper spray her in the face. So she ran out of the house with pepper spray on her face.
So DCF should be coming out.
And it's kind of sad because all her other children clearly were in and out of her life, you know? So she talks about Megan or Jordan, I forget who she just mentioned, having been there, having gone there a couple months, like it'd been months since she saw her, right? So unfortunately, her kids didn't want to be around her really like that, besides those 2 weird boys that are living there and sort of witnessing everything that's going on. Her kids were gone. And the older sisters, who were her real biological children, they felt a need to intervene for a reason, right? What they were seeing was that egregious. But obviously they weren't there all the time. So the only people that could have done something chose to turn a blind eye to it. And the people that could intervene were there once every couple of months.
And they should be taking custody of the kids. Based on the allegations. And they'll be talking to you as well.
Police execute a search warrant on the residence, and it isn't long before they find many troubling things that seem to verify exactly what the children have told them. 2 cans of pepper spray are found in a drawer, precisely matching the description that Stacy gave them earlier in the evening.
It's in her room.
Okay.
She has a black one and a blue one.
Okay.
She's empty both on me before.
The police also get a good look at the infamous green room upstairs, the isolated prison that Stacy alleges she and her siblings were locked inside for hours, if not longer.
It's just a green room. There's a lock on it. He makes me sleep with only underwear and stuff on a tile floor. No blankets, no nothing.
According to Michelle and her adult sons, the green room is an innocent place, meant only to be used for special effects sequences in their Fantastic Adventures videos. Police also speak to Michelle's neighbor, who says living next door to 7 young children has not been the experience she would have expected.
I never see those kids outside, ever.
You never see them outside?
No.
Okay.
That's really surprising.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they only, occasionally, I see one of them.
7 kids.
Over to Nova.
See them outside.
For a family that was so extraordinarily public in some ways, it seems they kept most of their lives hidden behind a closed door.
Maricopa Police Department, open the door. Maricopa Police Department, be here, not yourself now. Hold up, Brian. There, come out. All right, I'm gonna go down the hallway. First door, right? Go.
Police are back at the residence days later with a new warrant. They don't expect anyone to be in the house, of course. The 7 children were rescued from the home in the early morning hours of March 14th. The next day, police arrested Michelle Hobson and her 2 adult sons, Ryan and Logan Hackney, while awaiting trial on a litany of felony charges, including 7 counts of child. Michelle fell ill and was released from jail for hospitalization. 3 days later, she suffered cardiac arrest and was declared temporarily unfit for trial. While her overall condition improved over the coming months, she took a turn for the worse later that year and died on November 12, 2019, 8 months after her arrest. In a news conference, the Penelope...
Now, I believe she got an easy way out, and that's, I'm trying to sound fair. You know, she obviously abused those children the whole time that she had been their foster parent, and she had very little sympathy. You know, she really didn't, she wasn't really, what do you call it? She wasn't really, it didn't seem like she was regretful. It just seemed like she was trying to protect her reputation at that point and say like, oh, like, that's crazy. I'm about to make the kids a pizza or whatever. Like, trying to act like she just was going to feed them. It was just a little bit later. No, them kids were clearly starving and there was no reason to. A bunch of them were big, old enough to go and make their own food. did an inmate take her out? No, her big ass passed away from being obese. She went into cardiac arrest, and then her health took a turn for the worse. Did y'all see her? I'm not trying to just sit here to drag her, but she was a big ass lady. She was a massive lady, and she was starving all of her children, all of her foster kids, her biological kids. Obviously, them kids didn't miss a meal either. They weren't super skinny, but they didn't miss a meal either. She was about to make 3 pizzas, and they were all for her. Right. That's why the kids said, for who? Because she probably would make them smell like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just so evil. And I think we needed to see some more cases like that. Obviously, I wish we could see some of what was posted on YouTube, but I think at this point we know that it would just be videos of kids that were being abused. But she was making a profit off of these kids while on the flip side, terrorizing them. Very despicable behavior. It's sad how women get to do this to foster kids. Foster parents, period. I already dropped the link, Victor. I don't know why it's not working for you. I have zero sympathy for people like that. That's why I said, like, her fat ass got the easy way out. She was able to pass away from a stroke or whatever the hell happened to her big ass, right? Because she was way too young to have cardiac arrest. But when you're living foul, you know, either the system's going to get you or something else. You know, the Reaper's always on his way. All right, so that was the Fantastic Adventures YouTube channel. Family, that was the body cam footage, as well as some other footage that was slipped in there by Explore With Us. All right, so Explore With Us, by the way, I want to give them their credit for this body cam footage, even though I'm doing, you know, solid. What type of? Even though I'm doing my own like review content, sort of trying to have a conversation about what it is that we're seeing. The original content comes from them, and I know it takes a lot of work to do the FOIA request, sometimes be forced to even pay for all of this body cam footage that a lot of us, we take for granted, right? We ask for transparency from officers, but I think, you know, besides some of us binge watching the body cam footage on YouTube, a lot of people really don't ever take the time to look at the implications of this body cam footage. Like, what are we seeing? What are the police dealing with? What types of services could we provide that'll be more helpful than just sending over a bunch of units of young men who are just, you know, really not trained for all that they're going to encounter, and some who do God's work, right? And we see them. I've seen angels of all races on YouTube in these body cam videos, protecting women of all shades, defending them against violent people, against predators and things like that. And that's just something that we take for granted. We take for granted that body cam footage has not only helped to indict the bad ones, but it's also helped to show us what some officers are putting on the line every day when they go to work. So this next one is about a big issue that we have in society, which is predators, right? Predators preying on children, men and women. And this predator, this case actually came out again. This one is 5 years old, but it was recently talked about. Recently, it was Brittany Zamora. So this was the older, or I guess middle-aged, whatever you want to call her, grown woman who was having a sexual relationship with a young boy. I ain't doing nothing to you, Dros, LMAO. I don't know what you're talking about. But this was a fairly young teacher having an affair with a 13-year-old and also involving an 11-year-old. You know, so very disturbing, very, very, very disturbing. But this is what we have out there. You know, nobody wants to talk about this stuff. No one wants to mention it. And I think, you know, even if I may not be the best messenger or not the best putting these messages out there, I think we have to be real about what's going on, right? There are predators. They're everywhere. And people really should be teaching their kids what to look out for. No more just coddling and teaching them that the world is perfect and there's no bad people. You know, I think that children need to be made aware of predators, how predators move, what they say, how they prey on you, things like that. how they can manipulate young kids, the things that buzzwords that kids need to know. So we're gonna get into this one. Bridget says that old chick blocked me off your panel for her, taking me off the panel block list. I don't see you blocked at all. I don't even see you coming back here. And if you were blocked off the panel, you wouldn't be chatting. I wouldn't be seeing you in the chat. Everyone can see you. So you just gotta try and hit the link from a computer, maybe.
What perverted person are you? I want to know right now. You are.
And this dad snapped. Let me just say, this dad snapped. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He snapped.
Monster. You're a child.
God preaches forgiveness, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna preach forgiveness when I put my hands around your throat, you stupid mother.
I understand your pissed, man.
No, you don't get, you dumb.
When parents learned their 13-year-old son had been having explicit conversations with a female on his phone, a brief intervention soon escalates into a disturbing investigation that horrifies everyone. As officers investigate the case, a series of shocking testimonies emerge, exposing this horrifying act that managed to remain hidden for so long.
Well, his childhood is already gone, you know what I mean? Like, he's 13.
It was after 11 p.m. on March 21st, 2018, when 27-year-old Brittany Zamora called John, the father of a 13-year-old boy who just made a horrifying discovery on his son's phone. John speaks on 2 occasions that are a part of police records. From the instant the call begins, one of the speakers is emotionally volatile. The following footage has mostly never been seen before.
Yes.
What type of perverted person are you? I want to know right now. You are a monster. You're a child. Do you understand me? No.
Why do you say that?
Oh, see, I'm a lot smarter than you. I'm so much smarter than you. You do not understand how much smarter than you I am. I got you. I want you to know that now. I got you. Do me a favor. Do not call this number back again. The next time you'll hear from me will be in court. I am coming for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a wonderful evening, okay, you stupid.
Can you explain to me? Can we meet, to talk about this?
And you know what's so weird? Like the ease with which she just jumped into like, hey, come meet up with me. Let's talk about this. I wonder how many times this bird brain creep has said that. And how many times she's convinced people to deal with the situation outside of going to the police or to the school.
Is there something we can settle out, outside?
Oh yeah, that's what we can do. So I can give you a chance to do it to some other kid. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. No, Mrs. Zamora, do me a favor. Do not call me back again. Do you understand me? Make sure you tell your husband what's going on.
He is right here. Can he talk to you?
Oh yeah, put your husband on the phone. I'm more than happy to talk to that dumb mother too.
Earlier that afternoon, Maria found some questionable messages on her stepson's phone through a tracking app. When she noticed the name of the person on those messages, she was horrified to discover it was none other than her son's 6th grade teacher, Brittany Zamora. Alarmed, she immediately informed her husband, John. When John confronts Brittany, her husband, Daniel, rushes to her defense, utterly unaware of the devastating truth that lies beneath the surface.
Hey, man.
Hey, don't say hey, man, to me. You got a monster. If I was you, you stupid mother, I'd leave her.
Man, listen.
No, listen to me, you stupid mother. I'll cave your stupid head. Do you want to? I'd love to put my hands on. You're a stupid mother. You know that? You dumb mother. You dumb mother.
Think about God preaches forgiveness, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna preach forgiveness when I put my hands on your throat, you stupid mother.
I understand your pissed, man.
No, you don't get you dumb. Listen to me. I am not going to settle outside of court. There's not enough money you could possibly offer me to settle this. Get that through your head. Your woman is a monster. Hey, you want me to tell you the whole story? She had another 13-year-old in there watching the whole thing. She's a monster.
Soon Daniel is going to face a rude shock, one that will impact not only him, but the entire community.
So, man, look, this whole situation is crazy. I've never heard of anything like this in my entire life. I'm sure as a parent, you gotta be livid, pissed, downright hurt.
Stab this mother.
You trust the system, and honestly, this sucks as a husband. As a husband, I am distraught. Let down. I understand, and I'm sure as a husband, you know how this. I mean, what this would do to you.
Well, dude, see, the thing is, I don't get with the monster.
I know, God, it's the worst for me. I'm pretty much throwing up. She's confided in me and told me just now all the truth, and it's man, I'm shaking. I mean,
well, explain to me what she's told you.
As a man, I can't really.
No, I want to know. You said she confided in you. Let me know what she told you so I can tell you she told you everything. Let me know if she told you everything. Grab some nuts and talk to me like a man. What the did she tell you she did to a 13-year-old boy?
It's to be honest, it's more of just the messaging. And
oh, so she didn't tell you everything then. Oh, man.
I mean, I'm hearing it from you, sir. I'm hearing it from you.
Well, you ain't going to hear else from me. Not a thing.
Despite the horrid details that John reveals to Daniel, he comes up with a proposition that only escalates matters.
So what I'm asking you is if you could possibly, I mean, just, Brittany has been a great teacher for a long time. 5 years, she's done so much for so many students and raised so many people's lives.
Her husband is a straight up weirdo. Honestly, he should have been charged as an accomplice because at this point, he's hearing what's being said and he's making excuses. Talking about she's a good teacher. If she's a good teacher, she would not be preying on no little kids. And why are you not as shocked as this parent? Ain't no way you should be getting behind somebody who's done something like that and trying to say, well, for the good of the for the good of the kids, she's helping kids. She ain't helping nobody if she's behind the scenes preying on little kids like this. That's what I believe, John. I believe that he knows. He knows. He knew. No way this is just new information and he's not shocked and spitting in their face and running away. Ain't no way you're just standing behind a predator. Man or woman. I'm going to time you out because that is despicable. That's a despicable time to make a comment like that. I just think like a lot of you bandits, you guys lack couth. Like you guys have no home training. You're just degenerate and you're comfortable in your degeneracy. And I'm saying that because I don't think that you should be coming here making a joke like that, knowing that this woman is actually a predator. You know, like I don't think any of that's funny. So let's continue listening.
From the ghetto, she's been to, parents' homes to talk to students. She's really done the tutoring program. She's done so much, and she made a huge mistake. The biggest mistake of anybody could ever make in the whole entire world. But she got invested in a very, very, very bright, smart, and great student, honestly, and a great person, and probably comes from y'all, honestly. And I get it, man. You probably don't even want to hear my voice, and I wouldn't want to hear my voice either.
I'd like to hear your voice when
She got invested? That's how you describe what this woman did to this 13-year-old? He should be charged with a crime because obviously he was complacent in what she was doing.
I got my hands around your throat. Your wife decided to be a monster and prey on a child. She scarred my son mentally. Do you understand what a 13-year-old boy did? Do you get that at all?
What Daniel Zamora does not know yet is that earlier that afternoon, the boy confessed to his parents that not only had he and his teacher been exchanging explicit text messages, but Brittany had been sexually assaulting him on more than one occasion. However, this appalling information still doesn't reveal the full extent of this devastating ordeal.
What would you say happened? So I know, as a husband, man, I want to know this.
Bro, let me just tell you something. I'm not going to go any further because I need to make sure that you guys understand one thing, is that the lawyers will tell you everything that happened. But I'm trying to warn you, my man. What I'm trying to warn you, my man, is you don't get yourself involved, brother. Don't do that.
Man, that's not what a real man would do.
Well, then look, I'm just going to tell you right now. This is the last thing I'm going to tell you before I hang up on you. Don't waste your time calling me back right now. But what I am going to tell you is stay by her, bro. Do that. Your mom, your dad, her mom, her dad, everybody's going to know what this sick did. Everybody. You have a wonderful evening. Don't call this phone back. Have a good one.
The following morning, an officer arrives at 6:30 a.m. at the family's home to collect the boy's cell phone and assess the situation.
Our detectives have asked for is it a tablet?
No, it's the cell phone, sir.
Whatever the cell phone is, that if we can seize that at this point, because they need the evidence. Are you okay with that?
Seizing it, I don't like the idea, and I told the principal. The only problem is I told the principal he's expecting me to show him all this too.
The criminal investigations obviously will be shared because he's the one that reported this to us.
Yeah.
So it'll all be shared with the principal.
Before speaking with Brittany, John notified the school principal about the deeply disturbing secrets his son revealed. The principal immediately called police and put Brittany on administrative leave pending an investigation. But this is only the beginning. Police and the parents are yet to discover even more outraging information about this incident.
It specifically happened at the school?
Yes, in the classroom.
Okay. There was nobody else around?
I believe there might have been another boy, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But not doing it with her, just like a lookout.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure yet.
How many times did this happen?
I think it happened 3 times.
Okay.
Well, the problem is he's barely coming out with all the truth. You see what I'm saying?
No, I know. Yeah. He's 13. I mean, he's probably
scared right now.
The testimony of this other boy who witnessed the crime will soon reveal chilling details that will leave the investigators stunned. As the officer asks more questions, John elaborates on the complaint he registered with the police department after receiving harassing calls from Brittany and Daniel, who pleaded with him not to make an official complaint about the incident.
She called you several times, and you
Yes.
called them about harassment, correct?
Yeah, but the thing is, she called from a
Well, we
restricted
got
number.
two missed calls from a restricted number to
Okay.
that phone, and then another call that was when we called it back. It was a Circle K,
Okay.
but when we said hello, nobody responded. So that was on his phone.
Okay.
Then a few hours later, we got a call from unknown number, and we didn't know if it was one of you guys or not. So he answered.
It wasn't an unknown. It was a phone number, like you can visually see the phone number.
Okay.
According to the police report, during the phone calls, the Zamoras repeatedly suggested they meet up and settle this matter outside.
This is sickening, dude. Well, the thing is, it's just like I don't understand. Like, how big
How much money do y'all think she's already shelled out to this weird fetish, weird disease that she has, being attracted to young boys? How many times do y'all think she's paid people out? That's what I want to know, because if for them to jump to that, there must not be the first time.
weirdo do you have to be to protect somebody like this?
No, I
It
get
makes
it.
no sense. It's just nasty, bro.
This is, like you said, you see these on national news all the time.
And I say that's what I'm trying to keep out.
Later that morning, 2 new officers meet with the parents and the principal, Timothy Dickey, at the school. As Maria begins by informing the officer about the discovery she made on her stepson's phone, none of them are aware of the horrifying revelations that are still to come.
So I'm reading through the conversations, and I've done this before with other conversations of his as well. But this time I saw at the bottom that it had Mrs. Zamora Instagram profile.
Okay.
That's her name. And then what confirmed it is her first name was used in the conversation, where either he wrote it or she wrote it.
Okay.
And they put last name. And so then the conversation just kept on. And it was like he was talking to a girl, like his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So I showed my husband the conversation, and then when he came home, we talked to my son, and we told him, we need you to be completely honest right now. We already know the answer to everything we're going to ask, so we just need you to tell us the truth.
Okay.
So we showed him the conversation, and I said, "Who is this? Who am I talking to?" And he said, "My teacher."
Okay.
And so my husband just told him,
Okay.
"Have you done anything with your teacher?" And he said, "Yes."
He said yes.
On confrontation, the boy revealed further disturbing details to his stepmother.
He told us that when he asked for permission to stay after school to help with the talent show, to set up and make posters, he's doing good. It's the best he's ever done in school. So we are letting him do other things, like participate in sports. And so when he asked to stay after and help, we didn't see an issue with it.
Right.
He even brought home a permission slip to sign and everything. So we said, "Yeah, go ahead. If you need your help, stay."
Okay.
And he said that that's when it happened.
Maria, the stepmother, begins to detail how she believes the teacher groomed her child. Approximately a month prior to when things went this far, there had been rumors circulating throughout the class that Brittany had been favoring the victim. However, while some students complained he was getting more attention than they were, others had an...
This is the part from the school that I don't get. If kids are noticing something inappropriate with the relationship between the student and the teacher, why are the staff just gossiping about it and not taking action? Right? Because they're going to talk about recess and having to force the kid to go to recess. Right? Like, why is this not brought up to the parents in the first place? Right? Why are they trying to deal with this as an institution? This is where I think they dropped the ball.
An intuition that there was more to this behavior. In a later interview at the Southwest Family Advocacy Center, the victim's best friend and witness to these events sheds more light on the rumors that had been circulating. Much of this victim's interview will become crucial to the case.
People start saying rumors, but they're actually true, obviously. So one girl was saying a rumor about how probably got reason more pregnant. And there's just other rumors about how they're so close to each other, how they might be dating.
When the rumors got out of hand, the principal paid a visit to the class.
And then Mr. Dickey came, he's the principal, Mr. Dickey, was talking to us, saying you guys should stop these rumors and talking about how can you solve this situation by telling the principal, just solving it by teacher, just talking to them. Rumors, and then we wrote on a piece of paper how to solve that situation, the rumors, tell the principal and stuff.
The way we actually confirmed it, I told my son, you're going to Texas. I'm sorry to use this language, you guys want the truth. And I said, you're going to trap her. Mm-hmm. You're going to make her tell me everything through these messages. And that phone has everything you need to know on it. Everything.
Okay. Take screenshots because
I can show you right now what the messages say, but you guys have the stomach to freaking read it.
Understandably upset by such a despicable crime affecting their son, the parents' emotions overflow into grief, but they're still unaware that this is only the beginning of even darker revelations yet to come.
We just don't want his childhood is our daughter, right? She's 13.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Let me take some of my clothes.
When Brittany heard about the interviews the principal conducted, she reportedly came into his office frantic and crying, telling the principal that the only thing she cared about were her husband and her career. While Principal Dickey asked the victim to stop spending recess time with Brittany, he tried to look for more evidence at school.
Is there any documented history between Brittany and the student?
The following day, after the completion of this interview, Principal Dickey called the officers again to report that the substitute teacher appointed for Brittany's class had discovered some notes in a cupboard that...
All right, so the principal hears that this child needs to be pulled away from the teacher, brought to hang out with the kids at recess. What, I mean, there's nothing strange about that. Kids don't just want to be hanging out with adults, especially not in the free time that they have. I believe they dropped the ball. They should have mentioned this weird interaction to the parents.
Brittany and the victim had written to each other. With more distressing details revealed in these notes, police execute a search warrant issued on Brittany's house and vehicle. During this search, Daniel once again tries to defend his wife.
You guys have no kids, right?
I'm sorry. I wish now. Now that I do.
Why do you wish you had kids now?
So I can have, so I don't know all of what's going to happen right here, so let's have a little more pieces of her. Brittany has been an awesome teacher for a long time, one teacher of the year. Really? Straight up student, all through high school, college, a bachelor's degree, and her master's.
When did she earn that teacher of the year?
2 years ago, I believe, it was in elementary. Yeah, she's impressive. She's been doing so many good things for so long. For the students, the school, she's been really invested. And I can tell you that out of the so it's just really invested all of her. Really about it.
With several statements pointing in Brittany's direction, police now turn to the victim and the witness to record the unsettling details they're about to share. After seeking consent from the parents, officials begin to interview the victim.
I was texting my teacher on class craft because she made an announcement to the class that she was going to be at school, and for us to text her because she'll be bored. So she said that, text her so she wouldn't be bored. And I said, "I'm Samora," and then she texted back, "Hi." And then we just started texting. I can't remember all we texted, but then she was like, "Would it be weird if I sent you a winky face?" I was like, "No, it's just a winky face, LOL." And then we kept texting, and I don't remember all we texted, but I was in my room and she's like, I was bored. She said, I'm bored. I said, oh, well, I am too.
I don't know if y'all can see it as good as I can. I'm going to try and zoom in over here. I'm trying, but I don't know if y'all can see it. These are literal notes that were passed between her and this little boy. Can I have that juicy booty? You look good, be mine. Juice. Can I take a pic? Can you go with me? I will move to wherever, whatever the hell she's saying over there. Some pizza delivery. You just look really cute right now. This looks like it's something she wrote. This lady is disturbed. She's talking to this little boy like they're in a class together. Very disturbing. Victor, okay, you're doing too much. Let's continue. I don't know if you guys can see it because I'm trying to, but the screen is better on my side. That's all the notes between her and this kid.
And she said, come over. And I said, on my way. They put the car in, I was like, JK. And then we were talking about a school dance. And she said, are you going to come? And I was like, I don't think so. I might, though. And she's like, oh, Salty Bae. And she called herself, Bae. And I was like, and I just brushed off. I was like, LOL. Yeah, we would flirt a lot. And we would, be out at recess, and I would talk to her. And we would flirt at recess. And then, our principal said that we couldn't do that. We couldn't talk at recess no more. That I needed to go hang out because other kids were getting jealous that I was talking to her and not them. And so I stopped talking to her at recess. And then I would just keep texting. I would text her. When is it for?
The other kids are getting jealous that he's spending time with her at recess. Is this not a red flag? Is this not a red flag? Is this not a reason to have a conversation with the kid? Is this not something to bring up to the parent? All the other kids, so you're telling me the kids can all see it, but the adults, no, they just had no idea. This is extremely disturbing.
Begin. The first time she flirted with me was a time where she said, well, what if you send a winky face? And she's like, come over, tell her school and everything. That's the first time she ever flirted with me.
Do you remember if that happened before Christmas or after Christmas or something else?
I just think it was before because she said that it was for Christmas break because she wouldn't be able to see. So it was before, definitely.
The victim continues to describe how things escalated from there when he snuck out from his grandparents' home to meet with Brittany one night, and it was far more disturbing than anyone ever predicted.
Hey, it's Laura.
The interviewer broaches over the more unsettling subjects and makes notes of the events leading up to that revolting act. It wouldn't be long after this that Brittany began making distressing advances on the young boy in the most innocent setting.
Where in the classroom exactly were you at when that happened?
At her desk.
At her desk. Is there another time that something happened?
Yeah, she's done that a couple times, but I can't remember every time. That was just the first time.
As the 11-year-old witness begins his interview, it is tragically obvious that given his age, he does not understand everything that he has witnessed.
I was one of the witnesses, or one of the people that saw Ms. Zamora and my friend. One night, I wasn't there though, told me that, because he was at his grandparents' house, and he snuck out at 12 or 11. And he went in the car like 3 weeks ago or a month ago.
Did you see them text her? Did you see with your own eyes them texting every day?
Yeah, he did show me messages. And he said, oh, me and Zamora are texting. Yeah, so I saw it with my own eyes.
So tell me everything about the messages. What did they say?
They were just flirting.
So what do you mean they were flirting?
They're texting dirty stuff. On Instagram, they text dirty stuff. And then every day, Ms. Moore and messages, so no one will catch them texting because it isn't supposed to text Ms. Moore. So, and then when her mom that he'd been texting and texting Ms. Moore in class grad, he said, oh, we should not be texting, but then now they started texting on Instagram.
Back in the interview with the victim, The boy says something so unbelievably harrowing that the interviewer is left almost speechless.
She would be like, okay, class, time for CNN 10, get your snacks out and like go find a place to sit down. And then I wouldn't really ever bring a snack. I would just like go up there, and I'd press play, and I would like put my hand on the behind the chair, and that's when I do that. And then she'll like stand behind me.
The witness elaborates further that Brittany often organized viewings of a daily news program for students called CNN 10 and the deplorable acts that really transpired during these sessions.
When we're watching CNN 10, everyone watches CNN 10, and then she has a desk, and then this is a screen. Everyone looks that way. So Nora said like to come over here so we can have cover, so no one can see.
Is there a time that, did you ever look?
Look, no.
Okay.
Because they told me like not to look.
Okay, so that happened one time or more than one time?
More than one time. Like every day, like at 2:40, we do CNN 10. And like not every day because people want to do CNN 10 and like touch the computer and like unpause it and stuff. But most of the time, you do it, yeah.
As the interview continues, the victim shares more about the beginning of this awful act and how it affected his friendship with the witness.
So was that this school year or a different school year? This school year. The school year.
This is the first school. This is the first time I went to this school.
So tell me about the friend that knew.
I told him, but he was like mad because I was like talking to him. He's like, bro, do you hear? Like, no. He's like, bro, tell me the truth. And he's like mad. He's like, bro, you're not a good friend. And then I like told him, and then he's like, all right, I'll come away. But when like that happened, like turn around, and then he said, and when we were walking back to his house, he said, bro, can I tell you something? I was like, sure. He's like, you promised not to get mad. I was like, yeah. He's like, I was watching. I was like, well, I wouldn't get mad. I just told you not to look.
When this happened, where exactly were you at?
In the corner.
In the corner of
the room.
Of your school room, or was it a different room?
No,
or?
it was our classroom.
It's your classroom. And where was everybody?
They were all gone.
In a revelation that distresses everyone, the victim discloses that Brittany had been using the witness as a lookout.
Tell me what her dress looked like.
I can't remember that time, but the second time I remember it was black.
The second time? Was that the time in the car? Or do you mean?
No, that was the first time was the time in the car. And then, like, actually, I'm sorry, I messed up. That was the third time. The first time was the time in the car, then it was at that talent show, and the second one was the second day of the talent show.
But these nauseating actions weren't only limited to school. Brittany often engaged in more abhorrent behavior outside.
How did she send that to you? Like, what was the social media platform that?
Instagram.
Instagram. Is there a time that someone else saw one of those pictures?
My friend, he's seen that one.
And what friend?
He's been my best friend since 3rd grade.
What school does he go to?
Legacy.
Is that the same school you go to?
No.
Okay.
I used to go to that school, but I don't anymore.
And you know, it's sad because women like her know that they can in some ways control kids, but at the same time, like as soon as the floodgates open, meaning, somebody spoke up, they found out that this was going on, they spoke up, the kids came right out. You know, she was literally attempting to manipulate not only the kid that she was abusing, but this other kid by letting him be privy to what was going on and thinking that by showing him things that would keep him quiet, very manipulative. And these stories happen every day. You know how many body cam footage that I go right by, that I look through, that I watch some of them that involve these predators in schools? Really, predators are everywhere. But the fact that they're in these schools and cases like this are coming up frequently, and this is not something that we talk about. I mean, everyone wants, like somebody mentioned the other day, and I'm going to give them credit because I literally have been thinking about this anyways, but somebody mentioned the other day, we all want to be talking about Diddy and all this stuff like that. But this stuff that happens every day, this is not something that people are comfortable having a conversation. People are not comfortable being real and saying, hey, look, a lot of this stuff is still going on. So obviously, we had better let these kids know how to deal with this. We had better teach them how to be prepared for people like this. Right? We better make sure that we make them aware of the real world out there so that they don't go out there and get swallowed up by the world. Yeah, the kids came right out because they know it's wrong, right? And while she was able to control them while she was doing it, which is very tragic for them, right? She can't stop them from speaking up because naturally they're going to know, like, hey, that was really wrong. And some kids are brave enough to go out and tell it. You've seen in the last case that we watched, or two cases, I don't remember, the girl who's the daughter of the Fantastic Adventures family, right? The YouTube channel. She's the only one who's willing to speak out. Sometimes these kids, they don't have the strength to, and the adults who are abusing them know exactly that. But even though this is a rising issue, we don't hear about these things, right? I wouldn't even know about how frequently these type of things go on were it not for these body cams and these stories that pop up. This one here, obviously, the body cam, it's a mixture of body cam, videos from the dad and things like that. Like, this is incredibly tragic. It's incredibly tragic that he can't take that back, what his child went through, right? And the pain that kid's going to go through, knowing that he was preyed on, taken advantage of by a person who knew exactly what they were doing was wrong. It's extremely disturbing. So I'm showing this story to my son. Yeah, but the schools need to be aware too. If the kids are all getting a feeling that there's a uncomfortable relationship, you guys need to be looking into that too, and not making excuses, not taking more time to investigate. No, it's the moment you hear something questionable, it should be first. We're going to assume something bad happened, take you away from those kids, investigate. Because I bet if the principal would have really asked, hey, all of these kids, hey, what's going on? What is this? They wouldn't have been so hesitant to speak up if they were willing to speak up once they were confronted by their parents. But the schools will be too hands off. They want to play investigator. They want to cover themselves, make sure they didn't hire somebody like this too. That's part of the issue. Right, they want to dot their I's and cross their T's and say, hey, this person had no record, there was no prior cases, da da da. But if they really go back and do the digging, a lot of these schools, if they would ask the kids, hey, why do you guys feel like this kid doesn't want to go to recess, he just wants to hang out with you guys? Well, it seems like there's something inappropriate going on. We think they're dating. Why would kids be saying that? Sometimes kids just say stupid stuff, but I feel like the schools aren't following up on these leads. Maybe they're too uncomfortable. Maybe they don't want to find out because then their schools are liable, right? Maybe they want to do the investigating and the punishing and everything like that. I remember a time when we were hearing about this stuff happening in high schools and the teachers literally dealing with it in-house. Not the teachers, the faculty dealing with it in-house. That should not be a thing at all. There's questionable behavior. There's a transparent investigation, period. They're always covering themselves because they know. How did you hire a predator? The thing is, a predator isn't always going to have a record. That's the messed up part. They don't always realize that. Some of these predators have never been caught. Sometimes these predators have called parents and whatever and said, let's make a deal outside of court, outside of bringing the police involved. I'll pay you this much and I'll disappear. I won't go to work in this. You don't know what she's told previous victims' families and stuff like that. We don't know what has really gone on. So anyways, I have a few more, but I have to leave you guys because tomorrow is my niece's birthday and we have to make some stuff for it. So I have to run to the grocery store, but I'm going to come back whether it's today, like later, or in the morning. I think it's going to be later today. Keep an eye out for me. I'm going to do the same thumbnail, just part 2, so you guys know that I'm coming back because I really didn't get into it really like I wanted to. That was only the first, let me see here. That was the first 3 stories, and the Brittany Zamora one was a 30-minute video, so it took a little bit longer even with speeding it up. So I have, let me see right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 more cases that I want to go over with you guys today, but I'm going to have to come back because, again, I got to go to the grocery store. to buy some stuff for my little niece's birthday. So thank you so much. She says, happy birthday, niece. Yes, today is her birthday, but tomorrow is the birthday party. And you know me, I don't go to any family gatherings or anything like that without bringing something. Sometimes I do, but most of the times I don't. So I'm making buffalo chicken dip. I have to go buy the ingredients for that. Thank you guys for coming to my show, for the super chatters, for those of you who support me monetarily, who show up to my shows and engage in the chat, use your lunches properly, treat the new people properly. I appreciate you. All right, so I'm going to send you guys off with some AI Flora, because I truly believe AI is going to take over the world. Just because I saw a movie the other day about an AI like living wife girlfriend that was like taking over the family. It was hilarious. So anyways, I'm going to send you guys off with my AI song, and I appreciate you guys coming here today. All right, see you in the next one. For later, all right? I will be back later. I'm going to do this part of these.
Her smile is shone so bright. She's a queen with every scene. In the morning or the night, recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora. She's got that power. Spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora. She's got that power. Spreading her aura. Blossoming like a flower. Recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora. She's got that power. Spreading her aura. Blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong.
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'll see you in the next one.